What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday to you. Welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. Appreciate everybody for coming through. It is Payday Friday. Always a good day for most of you. Hopefully, you got some good news today, maybe a bonus or something. I'm happy for you if you got that. All right, salute to our viewers nationwide and international. If you have not, smash that like button for me. Smash that like button. Show your love and support. We got 13 likes right now. Let's get that right up. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Woo, it's been a week. It has been a week. Thank y'all for coming through, everybody. Let's get them in here. Let's close out this week strong. I want to talk about dating today. It's weird. As a married guy, you realize that you got a lot of people that want certain types of advice and perspective, but you also got to look back at what's currently going on in the market with them so they can get to where I'm at. So every once in a while, I have that type of thought like, whoa, they might not be going through the same things I went through. The game might have changed by now. So let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. I'm going to drop that link early. So y'all can come up. I don't really have much of a monologue today. I just wanted to have this discussion. So this is something everybody can participate in. What I want y'all to do today is come up and basically outline what's going on with you in the dating process. What does the landscape look like? Oh my goodness. Chanel just said it's Cinco de Mayo. Let me hit my boy up. We always go to this bar on the west side of Houston. It's lit. But you know what? Never mind. We got a pool party to go to. Damn. Always something. But welcome, y'all. Welcome. And it is Kevin Samuels Day today. Rest in power to the OG, triple OG, the Godfather. All right. We're going to do it like that. Get those likes up right now to 20. Get those likes up. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and share this stream out so people know what you're listening to during your work day or even if you're at home. All right. Share this stream out to people, especially on this topic. Who do you know that can give good insight into what's going on in the dating process right now? So make sure you talk to me in the chat. I'm going to be reading some of these chat responses. If you would like to support the show, you can do so in the form of super chat, super thanks, or after the broadcast is over. But we appreciate, and all your super chats will be read aloud on this show. All right, so let's see. Shout out to the sponsor, Tiege Handling. 30% off along with a free gift. The link is in the description. Father's Day is coming up, so make sure you grab that Tiege pack for the men in your life. Excellent gift idea there. All right, who we got in the chat? Let's talk to him. Dale Matthew, what's going on? What's up? Tay-Biz TV, appreciate the vote of confidence, bro. Oh yeah, Darius Horton says they're doing a podcast right now on future women. They do that. They do a lot of that stuff over there. They do. No matter what you can say about the lady, I guess, we can say that's the direction she's going with her programs. B Love, how you doing? Hello. MS Best, what's going on? Jill's Chocolate Boutique, welcome. Damn. So y'all don't talk about Cinco de Mayo in the chat. I'm gonna want a margarita right away. Hey, what is your favorite type of margarita? I'm gonna give y'all a secret. Never, if you can swing it, never drink a margarita on the rocks. It's always stronger frozen. I don't know how that works necessarily. In fact, I was a bartender when I was young, like 22. I think it's just more alcohol in the mixture and somehow becomes more potent while frozen. Don't drink it on the rocks. Always get a frozen one. Watch. You're gonna be like, damn, he was right. Frozen margaritas are always stronger. All right. I really want one now. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. But yeah, I'm a lightweight. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm gonna get smashed off of one. So maybe I'll go out tonight. Catch me in the Houston streets tonight. I sound so stupid saying that. I don't say streets. Catch me at a bar near you having a frozen margarita on Cinco de Mayo. It's gonna be lit out here. Always good to have fun with your people that way. Who else we got? My man AP, humble in the on the broadcast. What's going on? Spaces, how you doing? Nadia's. Oh, King Mike, thank you. Thank you. I have been crowned. I appreciate that. All right, man, let's get into it. I got my man Black Man Unfiltered coming up. Dating process discussions is the topic for today. I want to know, man, how many of y'all are dating currently? Because I got questions for y'all. What is the intention? What does the intentionality look like in today's dating landscape? What does the dating market look like? What does the dating process look like? Are you having trouble? Is it going easy? Are you bagging a bunch of them, or are you having a hard time? I would like to know. Let me bring my guy up. BMU, what's going on?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, what's going on with you, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm chilling. I am chilling.
All right. So what's your question, brother?
Now, opening thoughts. I'm talking about the dating process. What have you observed? Because you can see it, especially with, on our programs. We'll get people that come up and they'll highlight things about the dating process that aren't going so fluidly at the moment for them. They're talking about the differences in women, what women expect from men, what they're able to do, and communication breakdown. So talk to me. What have you observed about today's dating process in 2023?
Yeah, well, the process is the men want cooperation and the women want separation.
Mm.
Um, and I think that's where the disconnect is. Women say I can make as much money as you or more, and I'm not going to. They feel as if it's dumbing down themselves if they're under the protection or safety of a man.
Mm.
So they put themselves on the market, regardless of past, regardless of situations, regardless of the kind of person they are. They put themselves on the market and they price themselves out of the market. And then they become bitter when nobody shops at their store. So that's what I have, brother.
Damn, no, that was deep. That was deep. I've heard that from some of the men that came up, basically alluding to the same thing. I think the cooperation thing is utmost. Like you'll hear me say on the show over and over again, we have to start teaching. We got to teach a lot to the young men who did not have fathers in their lives. We all know that. We got to admit that they are literally just going off the deep end. And the reason I feel so sorry for some of the men is because they don't know what they don't know. But one of the deepest problems going on with the women is that not only do they not know what they don't know, they are adopting false ideologies that they think is supposed to lead to progress in the dating pool. They are taking, like a masculine frame, masculine approach, thinking that it's going to earn them the same respect a man gets. And like it literally, like you said, it does not work that way. It will not work. They will end up single, will end up bitter, will end up on YouTube talking shit. So, I've seen that cycle happen over and over, and it's real. What's going on, Mr. Rich?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing? Black Man Unfiltered, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm seeing your email later on, Arpain. You know what? I want to say this real quick before Arpain cook, because I know he's gonna cook. And I don't like to bring this into it, but I just want to bring it into more of a modern time. The Bible says, "What is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?" For unbiblical times. I'm not gonna say take the Bible out of it. I'm gonna do it in this case? What is it for a woman to gain all the degrees and still be cold? What is it for her to gain all the success and still be lonely? That's why we have Taraji P. Henson breaking down. That's why we have all the older women now trying to reinvent themselves. You know, Shaka Khan trying to reinvent herself, right? All these years playing, and now that the vagina has gray hair on it, now they want everybody to have it. They want to be married and they want kids, and so it's just a breakdown, man. I think the men out here are settling for any. Some of the men are settling, but a lot of men have a particular thing that they want that is not priced out of the market. Now, some men may, but a lot of men just want to be with someone that will love them, someone that looks presentable, someone that will pour into their life, and someone who will be cooperative. That's not hard, but on the flip side of that, we have women saying you got to make 100,000, 200,000. I'm not marrying no bus driver. If he worked for Miller, I'm not marrying you. If you work for Miller High Life, I'm not marrying you. If load trucks at Butt Light, you have to have a particular type of job. You have to have a particular type of house, and that's why, again, the adoption agency for the dogs. I mean, they have so many that they just want to give away, and I think those women should start investing in those companies.
Damn. All right, Mr. Rich, opening thoughts. Dating
Well,
process.
I mean, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Well, the point is, it depends on what the guy's intention is. I mean, if you want to know how to smash and you need game for that, I don't think this is the show for that. If you want to have something more meaningful with a woman, then we could probably help you with some solutions. So it depends on where your head's at. I think at ground zero, a man has to understand where he's at in life. Before I mean, if you just want to smash, I don't think it really matters. You're just trying to get laid, right? I'm way past that stuff. Been married so long, so I'm not the best guy to go ask about that. I don't know if we're going to try to talk about that here today or not. What kind of game do you need to have? I would suggest you go to Medium Man's channel. He's got a great thing on how to hook up with honeys and leave them happy. He's pretty good at that. But here, if you're talking about intentions for marriage, then there's some steps you need to take. And the first one is ground zero. Where are you at? Where are you at as a man? Are you prepared for the journey of vetting and courting a woman for marriage? You need to understand that. Now, you don't need to be at the finish line. I think that's a falsehood that we tell men. You don't. You just need to be on your way. And then you have to find a woman who's not going to derail you on that path. Right. And there's some steps. Now, if you're a religious guy, there's a NIV devotional Bible that talks about a person wanting to get married. There's some biblical steps you can take and the kind of things you need to look at. Actually, when I was putting my piece together, my wife gave me that one plank. She said, you should add this one in there. But she's my religious background. I'm trying to get to heaven through her. I know it's supposed to be impossible, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna put some money down and tell Peter, hey, let me in, because of my wife. I'm only joking. Anyhow, but then there's some steps you just need to take. And then as you're vetting a woman for courtship and all that kind of stuff, you have to ask her some real questions. You got to really talk, because as a man, you are the gatekeeper of marriage, and you have to take the responsibility and the accountability for making a bad choice. Right. And, some of the kudos for making a good one. Right. So I just think the intentionality is the most important thing. If you just want to smash, then you don't need to hear a lot of stuff. Just go learn some game and just smash. And unfortunately, there's too many women out there who's going to accommodate these days. But if you want some intentionality for something more meaningful, then, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that today as well.
All right, come on, Cam, real quick, Humble, and I'll let you up. All right, my guy. What do you got on the topic, bro? Humble, it's you next. Oh, he working. He at the office. He just trying to listen in.
Okay.
All right, but those of y'all tuning in, welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. Get those likes up Right now, we got close to 100 people and only 33 likes. Get those up to 50
Wow.
right now. We're talking about discussions during the dating process. That's a lot of D's. That's a lot of, pause. A lot of alliteration there. All right. But yeah, we're going to collect some info from you and give a little bit of perspective on what's going on in today's dating process. I see we have a lot of women in the chat, and I want to know about your dating experiences. We're going to get down to the bottom of it today. How you find a husband, because like Mr. Rich said, a lot of women, Mr. Rich, tell me what y'all think about this statement, even before I ask the first question. I dabbled a lot in this dating culture, even though I was raised traditionally. It's extremely exciting. So as men, people will say, well, why would you go into it's extremely exciting. It's intoxicating to know that you can get into, things just for the purposes of sex. And the worst part about it is I did not understand some of the curse outs that I got from women. And when you lead, like we say, with game, and you tell the girl up front what it is and what you want, they're always like thumbs up, thumbs up. And then when they're trying to get more serious and asking you to go to private events with them and, oh, you're going to take me as your date. And you're like, what? Excuse me? I told you what this was in the beginning. They get upset like they're your girlfriend and you don't want to take them anywhere. So what I'm going to take a wild guess here that most of the women on the dating market today think the way to a man's heart is through his bed, and they're wrong. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, I'll go first. I think that's the narrative now. I think that there's a lot of women who create a narrative online. Um, I think that, and I know a lot of people don't say this is not a problem, but reality TV plays a huge part. Um, those women on there, they show them women getting all these men sleeping with this man's husband, and I mean this woman's husband and this woman's husband,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to the TV shows. TV shows are showing an example of powerful women who made it through the bed. They show all these shows where women are very sexually liberated, and they feel like in the real world, I can take that behavior into the real world, and they end up getting it wet, getting it beat down, and then in the morning he's gone and she's wearing a frown. And they become bitter, mean, upset because they don't. At the beginning, they understood the position, and but then they get upset because their feelings are in it. And this is the reason why I say there's a difference between a man who has a lot of sexual partners versus a woman, because women, whether you know it or not, you become attached to certain men who treat you a certain way or give you the D in a certain type of way. You attach yourself to that, and you become, and the man still thinking, hey, we just meeting up every now and then, getting it in, and then your feelings start to tell you, no, it's more than that. I need him at this private event with me. I need him to be my plus one when I go out to these meetings or when I go on double dates. And the man wants to be private, and you click public because of your feelings. So I think that's where we are today. I think the world is just highly influenced, Trigger Mike. It's highly influenced. And I think our women are highly influenced on what they see, but it doesn't reflect what they live.
So let me go ahead real quick there, Trigger Mike, and because I know Ekene came up. Black Man Unfiltered is absolutely right. I was going to say that. One of the things that we have to realize, it doesn't matter what class the woman's at, whether she's from the streets or she's Ebony K. Williams. I think all women conflate sexual attention to relationship attention.
Yep.
And they get that wrong all the time. Because even when she made the statement that she had all the Johnsons, when she was talking to Van Sant, I've done them all. Everybody knew what she meant, but she didn't learn a damn thing. Because if she did, she wouldn't have said the stupid shit she said.
Yep.
So women conflate. They think besides them measuring men on how much money he has, they think that the way to a man's heart is through his Johnson. That's why we got so many fatherless children out there. And then the women become bitter When the guy, hey, I didn't want a baby. Well, why did you shoot up the club? Well, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You're a woman. I'm gonna take sex from you any way you want to give it. And I'm getting ready to put out a piece on that, by the way. But the point is, like you said, women just get it wrong. They refuse. They're smart, right? A lot of women are smart, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's just because it's a lack of intelligence. I don't know if it's cognitive dissonance or what it is, but how many times do we have to tell them where we're coming from? You know what I'm saying? It's not like this is a secret. Men tell women where we're coming from all the time. They just don't hear it, And the
Mm-hmm.
ones who do, they end up with better outcomes because they know what they're dealing with. Here's how men operate through the ages. And even though women seem to be different, I'm gonna say this again. The only thing different about the women today is that the tools that they use and abuse have changed. Their
Mm-hmm.
nature is pretty much the same. And men who understand that also do better, by the way, with women. But let me just let that. I'm gonna land it there. We can talk about it later. Right.
All right, Mr. Ikene. Opening thoughts on the discussion. Everybody working.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Oh,
Number one,
what's the topic, sir? My bad.
Oh, that was like, who was talking first?
Humble.
Oh, Humble, you back. All right, bet.
Yes, sir.
The topic is dating. So, the dating market currently, what's going on with it, and what are the expectations of both the man and woman, and how does that play out in the whole dating process?
Man, it's like well, date for me. I see dating is it's easy. That's why if you listen and follow procedures, it's easy. But we humans, we trying to make it hard. Like we trying to make it hard. Some people, when you try to when you don't follow procedures, like you're gonna fall on the wayside. For me, I see it as an easy path. Just like when you listen to your elders, just like Mr. Payne here, married. If you give like Trigger Mike, if you give someone the game, tell the person the truth. Hey, this is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do, and the person decide not to do the stuff and do what you tell him or her. Guess what? You're gonna fall on you. You're gonna be a victim. You're gonna be a victim. So I see it's easy, but we as human, we want to do our own thing. We want to experience things, and it's good for me. I say it's good to experience stuff so that you're gonna learn, and go. As life goes on, life is like you experience stuff in life. Life is a teacher. It's gonna show you different things that you're gonna see, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I went through this stuff. I went through this stuff, bro. For me, I just say in general, if you're a Christian, you go through the Christian way, like the biblical way. If you're a Muslim, I don't know how to do it in the Muslim tradition or religion, but I say if you're a Muslim, you follow the same procedure. For me, I just
Mm-hmm.
tell you, as a Christian, woman is the last gift God gives to man. Get you be under God, get a job, get everything you have to, get yourself together, be on your purpose, you know, be on a straight path. Then pick your wife. God didn't say pick a girl, he said pick a wife.
Okay.
So for me, I just say it's easy, but we don't, we are humans, we don't listen. So that's my opening thought on that.
I appreciate that, Mr. Ikene. You ready? Nope,
You
not
ain't
ready.
ready, I go.
All right, King Spark, what you got for us?
Man, ain't no dating game, man. These hoes selling pussy out here, dog. That's
No,
all
you.
that's going on. That's all they doing. That's all.
Oh man,
That's
you gotta have to elaborate on that
that's
one.
that's all that's going on out here, man. That's all that's
Oh
going on out
no.
here, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's what it's all about, man. They checking pockets, and if your pockets looking right, you get to slide. Anything after that, yeah, I ain't looking for. I know women. I know young women. I ain't gonna put nobody out there, but I know beautiful young women, and they telling
Mhm.
me what they going through. Saying whoop whoop whoop, and I'm like, y'all hoes.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what,
Explain what they
King Spark?
going through.
King Spark,
Yeah.
I heard a young lady tell another young lady. She told her husband. She
Yeah.
said, "I told my husband I got something that'll sell when cotton won't." Hey, you know what,
Explain what they
King Spark?
going through.
King Spark,
Yeah.
Did he go out?
What happened? I don't know what happened.
Oh, I
Somehow.
thought all right. Let's see who we got.
Scoot over. What's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
What's happening, brothers? What's happening?
What's
Hey,
going
what's
on,
going
brother?
on,
buddy.
Hey,
It's
hey,
your first
man.
time on the show?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm honored y'all got me on here. This is dope.
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
All right. Dang, we had a few people come in.
I think
Mr. Alignment, you there?
Alignment didn't go.
Yeah, Mr. Alignment, you there? Damn, everybody working today, but it's all good. If that's how y'all want to do
And
it.
it's
So
cra-
let me touch on something King Spark said, because that is actually one of the things that I've seen change, like remarkably. Like I'm telling you, when I was young, I could still spot a bad chick. Like at 6, 7 years old, I used to look at some grown women like, oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. And for some reason, it was some women that knew that they were that bad had something to preserve to make all the dudes go nuts. I had an older cousin, right? You know, cool New York dude. You remember them days where they had the bubble jackets and the ski goggles and all that? Like when he got dressed in that stuff, I was like, damn, this dude look cool. He could get that girl. Like it was only the dude that had his stuff going like that could get that girl. And you know, I would hear him talking, you know, on the phone, those Motorola you know what I'm talking about. He'd be like, man, this is a hard one to crack, bro. But he's like, it's cause she pretty. And I used to think, so I grew up thinking that beautiful girls wait longer because they have something to preserve. They want to get married. You see what I'm saying? So now that's not the case. What do y'all think? Because it's not
the case. Not
it
anymore.
might be the biggest. They might be the biggest bust
It
down.
never has been.
They all want ball players, dog.
Yeah.
They want ball players now, man. I'm telling you, even doing what I'm doing, and shit is cool over here. You talk about they don't want the bus driver, they don't even want the store owner. Nigga, they looking at me like, nigga, you ain't popping like that. I'm like, damn, I thought I was doing all right for myself. Like, shit.
I don't
Where your Range Rover? Where your Bentley at? Where your
I don't know about
it's tough
that,
out
man.
here, brother.
I don't
Black
know.
man.
Like
Black
me.
man.
Go ahead, bro.
Black
Go ahead, True, man. Why don't you go
Oh,
ahead?
yeah, go ahead, brother. True. Go ahead, brother.
Nah, how you doing, fellas?
What up?
Me and my boys had this conversation all the time, and I can remember sleeping on the air mattress. I got more ass on the air mattress
Yo.
than when I start leveling up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they smell the struggle. I don't know. But as I've progressed, you know, I'm not lacking. They still in rotation, but it was a lot easier when I had less going on. I don't know.
Because you can't say nothing to them. You don't have no demands when you ain't got shit going on. All you got to do is drop the dick off.
That's not true. Now
That's
I
not
hear
true?
you. That's not true. Not in my case. Now I've always had standards. They were actually higher.
No, I didn't say standards. I didn't say standards.
Not yours.
I said demands. Like as far as what you could say to the woman. See, you don't realize you was a piece of meat. You was somebody born toy. You thought you were doing something. You was a piece of meat.
I'm not offended.
If you don't look,
neither was I. I'm just saying,
yeah, she sucked True dick. Yeah, she gave him some head on Tuesday.
Brother.
Gave her homeboy some head on Tuesday. Gave True the boo on Wednesday.
If you don't look like a leader, if you don't look like a leader, then they don't have to follow.
Oh.
Okay.
That's so funny shit.
Here's something I don't think brothers is looking at, and we need to.
Okay. I
say this to these sisters. First off, has anybody here heard of the Great American Black Woman Shortage? Me neither. I tell these sisters this after they get all this venom in their mouth for us and all this shit they got to say. I go, oh, really? Well, counting all the horrible brothers you don't like, for all the very valid reasons you have for not liking us, you outnumber us by 2 million. 2 million. There are 2 million more of you before I do a stomach crunch, before I get a promotion, or before I get a passport. There are 2 million more before I count all the other women on the earth that want some. There's 2 million more of you. So I don't have to put up with any of this for you. And it's fantastic that you are looking for the dude with all that, because he ain't looking for you. And you're helping me. I love it. This is when watch social media. When you see mindless, low frequency bullshit on social media, don't pay attention to the woman it's coming from. Pay attention to the women in the chat that co-sign it, because they're letting you know, me, hey, I ain't shit. They're letting you know, they're helping you find the ones
We have
that
a few
are
of those.
worth it. When you're looking, I'll say this, I'll get out the way. Look, when you watch these popular sisters that talk this trash, look for the women who are in your area that are on that social media co-signing that. So when you see them out, you can bring it up and go, that what you said? Is that how you feel? Let's talk. And watch them squirm. Watch them squirm, bro. You're the commodity. You don't get pussy, you give out dick. Oh yeah, I'm from Chicago.
Boy,
So
man, is this boy related to Dolomite?
Sort of, bro.
Man.
Sort of. I might be the oldest dude here. I'm 58 in a couple weeks.
I got you by a couple
Hey,
of years.
you
Oh,
very
you got me,
poetic
dog?
with it, brother.
Bruh, I was born and raised in Chicago. So in the 70s, I was born in the 60s and I was raised in the 70s around every kind of black man. Pimps, hustlers, these are my uncles, pimps, hustlers, good dudes. And I've watched how they treated women. One of my uncles, real handsome cat, I was 9. I saw this. He kept a bunch of women around him. And they was all trying to be in my grandmama's house, trying to curry favor. So one day, me and my cousins, we playing in the hallway. It's called a vestibule. We playing in the hallway. My Uncle Bobby walks up with a fine one on his arm. Upstairs is another fine one waiting on him. She comes downstairs trying to talk trash to him. This dude backhands her so hard that he broke his watch. He steps over us, her, and goes upstairs with the one on his arm. Do you know what the one in the vestibule did? Started picking up the pieces of his watch to get it fixed. So,
Damn,
bro,
damn.
I'm telling you, they are absolutely magnetized to what it is they can't have. Watch this. Watch this right here. Watch this. I promise I'm gonna shut up. Watch this. You take an average brother, 20 years old, and he tells himself in 10 years, I'm going to have the following things. I'm going to make this much money. I'm going to drive this kind of car. I'm going to have this kind of job. I'm going to wear these kind of clothes. I'm going to live in this area. He makes a 10-item list. If in 10 years he has 9 of those things, he gives himself an A. You take a sister with the same age, same thing. She will make a 10-item list. And in 10 years, she will have all 10 of those things. See another woman with something that wasn't on her list. Now that ain't an A, that's an F, because I want that. I want what she got. That's how they think. And once you can wrap your brain around the fact that you, black man, that can conjugate a verb, that's comfortable at a dice game or the Oval Office, that don't need your car, don't need your help. I am the commodity. Once you figure that out, bruh, what more bad news? If you're under 40, ladies, and you want a black man, you're gonna have to share him. That's what the math says.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what the math.
I'm gonna have to steal that one. Congregated the dice game or the Oval Office. I'm gonna have to steal that. I'm sorry. That won't come with me, Chief. Now, are you sure your uncle's name wasn't a pimp named Slickback? Because I knew a dude like that one. I knew a dude like that once. All right, so I got a treat for y'all. It's for Mr. Rich, actually. PH Diva, how you doing?
Oh man, my girl.
Hey, Trigger Mike, how are you? Did you miss me?
I'm doing good.
Oh yeah.
We were wondering where you were at. We were like, she don't rock
yeah.
with us no more. She don't
I've
rock
been
with us no
traveling
more.
quite a bit.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, welcome back.
Thank
All right,
you.
what you got on the topic? I'm sure you're going to give us a lot to discuss this afternoon.
Actually, I kind of just came in on the last gentleman, and I was listening. Well, I heard when he said talked about how his uncle, the two different women, and he backhanded one. And I watched all the men's faces light up and they started, chuckling. And then I just thought about how sick and degenerate many of you all are.
Sure.
And how you delight in violence against women, particularly Black women.
So
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
those are my initial thoughts.
Well, let me
Now,
say this to
PhD,
that. Let me say this
can
to
I say
that.
something real quick?
Go ahead.
Now
Go
we
ahead.
need to have the same energy for some of these stories we're seeing on YouTube where these children are 20 years old, 17 years old, and they're going to get blood tests for their dad to donate them blood, or the men are just getting blood tests for the health and find out 17, 18, 24-year-old kids are not there. It's 2 at a time. I just watched a video yesterday that went viral where a man got all 4 of his kids tested, been married for 23 years, and none of the kids are his. Now that's
Hey,
disgusting
PhD, I got a
and
question.
horrible.
I got a question.
Men lie the most,
PhD.
women lie the biggest.
I got a
Stopped him
question.
from
I got a question,
getting
PhD.
a DNA test before that. So I mean, I
PhD,
wouldn't
I
have
got
the
a
same
question.
outrage.
I got
Go
a
ahead,
question
King.
for you. What is the line that women are not allowed to cross?
What do you mean?
In behavior, in anything,
In
what is the
relation to a
line
man.
that in relation to man, like obviously, like you saying, like with the hitting, that was obviously crossed the line.
Absolutely.
When do we know a woman has crossed the line? I'll wait.
Same. Nobody should be putting their hands on anyone.
That
So
was my
women don't
ultimate
get
point.
to put their hands on men either. I'm totally against that.
Absolutely.
Now, if you had to guess, no, I'm not even gonna go there. But what I will say is, even the part where you said our faces lit up, I don't think
Yeah.
that was. I looked at everybody's faces. That
Yeah,
was
I
more
was
of a
looking
shock.
too. True table.
That was that was more of
Oh,
a
my
shock.
face lit up. I thought the
But hold
story was
on,
great.
Guilty. Right. He not even
My
denying
camera
it.
was
Right.
off.
I didn't
Wait,
write.
hold
I
on.
didn't.
Hold on, y'all.
I'm talking about the
So
top rope.
one of those things that happens, I don't think that's indicative of anybody's acceptance of such behavior, because what it actually is a remnant of a time.
How about it?
Okay,
Absolutely.
so when I made that comment about a pimp named Slickback, that's exactly what was going on during that time. Not only that, he went on to say the woman picked up pieces of his watch to go get it fixed.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's more like a movie response, like, damn, that's crazy. They used to do that stuff at that time. We
That's
cannot
exactly
change
all
Look
that
history.
on
meant.
your face. That wasn't the look. I saw a lot of smiling and
So now you know how we
chuckling.
look.
Mr. Payne.
I was
Okay.
smiling my ass off. That was a great story.
Okay,
I
good.
don't mean I would do it. I never hit a
Right.
woman in my life,
And
but I thought it was
Now,
funny as
and
hell.
so, but
Now,
that
I
just
don't
goes
think
to
anything.
show how like
Wait,
you
hold
all
on.
are in favor of that type of behavior,
That
even
doesn't
if
mean that.
you won't, do
That
it
doesn't mean that. You
yourself.
know that. You know
Okay.
better
No,
than
it
For
that.
doesn't mean
pleasure,
that.
May I
because
respond?
there
You
are
know better
other
than that.
men who will
Is
do
it all
it.
right if I
Let
respond?
me
I'm sorry.
let
Go
me
ahead, sir.
let me explain what I mean by remnants of a time. So
I get what you
I've
mean.
never watched. Let me put it to you like this. I've watched, even growing up for a little bit of years in Nigeria, I've watched not only family members do that, I've watched the women encourage it if the woman, like King Sparks said, crossed the line. So what I did, the note that I want to make is that other members in the family don't do that. So we've kind of transitioned to a time where that's not acceptable for most men, but we are understanding history that men used to get down like that. A woman crosses a line because he basically said she came up, got in his face, and all of that. But it was not. It's not that it wasn't normal.
She
Not saying it's not
understands
right.
all of that, man.
Is it all
She
right if I
understands
respond
all
since
of
I
that.
did make the comment?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay. Sister, I don't glorify by any stretch of the imagination. This is me being brought up in abject violence is one of the reasons I don't put my hands on women. Now, I don't think any man should put his hands on a woman, but that don't mean you can't pay somebody. There ought to be I'm working on, once I'm elected emperor, I am going to have a business called Heifer Clockers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for the women, PH Diva, that you want to smack the hell out of. You know, them women that take that won't let their daddy see the kids, and the daddy is trying to see the kids. She need the hell smacked out of her.
No doubt.
Them women that take $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month out of child support, and their kids look raggedy. She need the hell slapped out of her. I ain't saying a man got to do it, but how about a woman that just got out that kind of looked like a dude? What's wrong with paying her to do it? Because somebody need to do it. B, I think you were put in a bad situation just now with and I don't think brother Mike meant to do it, but to ask, or whoever it was, I think that asked the question. Yeah, Brother Spark asked, what is the line? You're not qualified to answer that question because you don't draw it. The system does. The system draws the line and says that a woman isn't over the line until she uses a weapon that kills a man, because other than that, all you got to do is pick up the phone and here come the police. There is no, that's the issue. The true thing is that any man that gets to a point where he has to put his hands on a woman has failed. There's too many of you. Once I get into an argument with you that's louder than the radio, you're fired. Bring your playbook on in the office. Why are we doing this? I mean, if on Monday, I don't know what cities you're in, but on Monday, gentlemen, try this experiment. Take a water balloon, go downtown, and at noon, throw it up. You're going to wet the pantyhose of 5 sisters who fit the following description. Fine, paid, no kids, alone. Why would I put up with your nonsense? Why would I put up with the fact that I have been taught, and this is nothing, we have been taught that you are disposable, sister, and you have been taught that we were untrustworthy. This was done to us. And if I can't get a sister that will look at me and I look at her and go, all of our dysfunction starts with the fact that we were cut off from our languages, customs, and gods. And we talk to each other this way because of our oppressor. Now let's fix this thing between me and you. If I can't do that with you, there's too many of you to stress over it. That's what I'm saying. The numbers dictate that no black man has to deal with low frequency sisters in any capacity. Now, I know most sisters would like to take that in the reverse, but the reverse ain't so. It's not. Ain't no, all these, well, I'm a date out of my race. The white man ain't looking for you. He know right where you at. He put you there. There's
Really?
there's no Eastern European drug. There's no Eastern European oil baron roaming the hoods of the ghetto looking to fix the brakes on your van and take your kids to eat. You're going to have to deal with us.
You assume that we're all in the ghetto. So, some of us are in very close proximity to these other men.
Wherever you are, they are not marrying you in droves.
I can't tell because I see too many black women who are going that way now.
Okay, well, the Essence magazine is wrong. Madam
No.
I
said I see.
Oprah's wrong. There is a black man shortage. There is not a black woman shortage.
Right. Oh, no. I'm talking about black women who are dating and marrying other groups of men.
Stop.
So it can be a shortage.
It's not a large number.
So
it's negligible.
It's not a large.
Can I finish what I'm saying? And y'all are so quick to tell us don't nobody want us, but
no, don't nobody want the ratchets.
Lived in this black woman's body for the years that I have. I know that that's just not the case.
Okay.
And
okay, hold on. But y'all can get. But my thing is this. Hold on, let me say this real quick. My thing is this.
Always is so small.
Hold on, you go
right?
next. So
we're a minority in this country. So even if only a fraction of white men, so we make up about 7% of this country. White men make up about 35%. So even if only a fraction of them want us, that's still enough, right?
My bad. You're doing great. What was I thinking?
All right.
No.
PhD. So, this is what. Go ahead. This is what I mean.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's not about a want you type of scenario because we got to give context. Do they want you for marriage? That's all that counts.
Yes. And so what I'm saying is, okay, and we're gonna start. We've already been seeing the numbers of black women marrying outside the race going up. But so what you all have failed to realize is for a very long time, up until very recently, black women were resistant to it. Black women didn't want them.
Oh yeah,
right?
You're right.
Right.
Now
you don't want them now.
Here's where
you don't want them now.
Hold on, y'all. This is where we can agree. Hold on. This is where we can agree, PhD. the numbers, because black women were resistant to it. Literally, they were resistant to it. Most people marry within their race, and now you're right. The numbers are going up. This is our ultimate gripe with it when women just say it outright. Do you see the black women that these white men marry? And is there abundance of them in the black community? Hell no. Fit, feminine, friendly, fun, faithful.
Yeah, black women, white men come get the dimes.
There's not an abundance of that.
White
in
men
the black
come get
community.
dimes. They ain't playing.
Literally, not wear their natural hair. Those women wear their natural hair. Are thin,
I
friendly,
know women with
soft-spoken,
weaves who
blend in
marry
any
these
room.
men.
That's not an abundance for them.
And so the thing is that you all think that these men just have these astronomical, standards. It really speaks to how you feel you measure up in relation to them, right?
Wait,
that you
are
think
those
that they
astronomical
out of the
or
stratosphere
are those
with their standards? It says how you feel about you in relation to them.
Get out of there, Diva. He's tearing your eye out.
We're talking about dating process discussions, and you're talking about men that have dated within the black community. And at some point, you got to realize that you might be a woman, but we experience women. And I'm giving you my intelligent discernment to say there's not a lot of look. I missed out on one when I was young. The second I found another, I married her. That's how bad it is out here.
And Trigger Mike, can I say this real quick?
That whatever your assessment is of the number or proportion of whatever the
small.
Whatever, okay,
very
it can be small, but so that is your assessment, right?
No, it's not.
It's true that you can speak for other groups of men and what they want. That's what I'm questioning. I'm not questioning your assessment of what
I like to answer that.
PhD, but can I say this real quick?
They want women who wear their natural hair. There are plenty of women who wear weaves who get with these men. Like what? That doesn't even make sense.
So BMU, go you next.
So PhD, but this is what I wanted to say. I'm not going to speak for myself. I'm just going to speak on one of your sisters, right? Ayanla Van Zant said in an interview, if you want to go check it out, she said that she feels as black women should get things together because she said they're her sisters and she loved you guys. She said, but right now at this point of where the climate that we in right now, she said my sisters across the globe are the most undesirable women to be with. And she said, we have to find out a way to make our black women desirable again. This is Ayanna. This is not from me. This is what she said, right? But then on the flip side, what Trigger Mike
just said, can I discredit that because she said black women across the globe are Ethiopian women undesirable?
No. She said Western. She's talking about the women in the United States across the globe. Well, you know how women said they're going to go outside their race. She said that they're the most undesirable to any race of man across the globe. So if you want to go watch the interview, that's not.
Don't nobody want
right. That was not me that said that. Right. That was Ayanla. But then the second thing I had. Hold on. Let me say this, and I'm done. I had a conversation with my sister, and she likes, and excuse my French here. She likes to throw her pussy from the free throw line. Now she wasn't raised that way. but I told my sister. She said I can get any man I want. I can have sex with him. I said yes. You can get plenty of dick, but who will commit?
Right. Congratulations,
you can have who's going to commit to you, who's going to marry you. And to this day, she's still every dude standing on the goal getting rebounds from the pussy she's throwing from the free throw line because nobody's going to marry her because she feels as if she can get a man she wants in the bed, but no man's going to marry her. And I told her, like I said at the beginning of the show, there's a lot of companies that need investors into adopting animals, and I told her she needs to invest in those companies.
Yeah, so
okay, and so does your sister want to be married? So that's the thing, because a lot of times y'all place this, marriage as some type of dangling carrot that all women just
don't say y'all. Don't say y'all, sister.
Okay,
well, right, because my sister, PhD, but let me answer you. Let me answer you. Let me answer her question. Hold on. Let me answer her question. My sister,
BMU and Mr. Rich. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me answer her question. My sister says she wants to be married, but after all these years, she got bashed down and beat down and dicked down so much, she done fell off like a pair of overalls on an anorexic farmer. And now she wants to calm down and say, I want to be married. You can't now you can't be. And I tell her, I say, baby, you're in your mid-30s. Nobody wants to be with you. You're not ever going to get married because you have served more people than McDonald's. And now you want to have a husband?
Why would you tell his sister the truth?
No,
I
all
told
she
my
got to
sister the
do
truth.
is move to another place. She can move out of state. They
Absolutely.
will never know
Oh,
her.
no.
They will
No,
never know
she's
who
You
right.
she
can move.
is.
She's right.
You can move. Hey,
Don't
listen.
tell your
If you're
sister
demonic, hold on a second. If you're possessed by a demon, you can move from
The demon is
California
on
to
the U-Haul
Richland.
truck
That
with you.
demon's still in you. But my sister has she and I told her she'd go sit on somebody's couch and come to the realization to raise her children, right? Because she's the only one out of all of us, all of my siblings, that fell off. We don't understand why. All the rest of us are married. All of us have children. I'm 14 years in. My brother is 10 years into his marriage. My other sister is 8 years into her. She the only one fell off the wagon.
She the
So
girl
we're
in
trying
the
to figure out
Christmas
who was
flip
all
by
raised by the
herself.
same parents, came up in the same household. Why does she feel like she has to throw a pussy from the free throw line? And now she's in her 30s and she can't recover.
I think she can recover. You can always recover.
Well, sister, okay,
y'all
I
keep
got
it
a
going. I'll
question.
be right
I got
back.
a question, Sister Diva.
Why you
Yeah.
pushing that narrative?
Sister Diva, do you have any brothers in your family that you absolutely treasure that are about 30-something years old?
No.
Okay. Do you know any black men that you care about that are 30-something years old?
No.
Okay. Well, for the rest of the people listening, I won't make this declarative anymore. I'll make this declarative because whenever you make it interrogative, women move from the truth like a snotty marble. Here's the deal, sis.
Mhm.
The definition of a sucker is any individual who respects another individual more than that individual respects themselves.
Mhm.
So what has happened is this brother's sister has treated her pussy like a clown car, and she now wants a man to come along and treat it like a town car. And that's not going to happen unless she finds a sucker. Now she can move out of town, which is what I suggest. I ain't mad at hoes. Hoes are like Doritos, and Doritos are for everybody. I'm not mad at hoes. I'm just saying that when you get tired of hoeing, you got to move from where you hoeing, because don't nobody want to be the sucker walking in with you that everybody done had a piece of. This is the difference, okay? On your wedding day, on a woman's wedding day, she can they can dun. She coming down the aisle, white dress. She can say, "Stop the music." This nigga right here is the biggest hoe in town. All of y'all sisters done had him, but I got him. Hit it, band, and go right back into the music and get married with pride. There is not a man I respect that wants to flip that around. See her walking down the aisle and go, "Stop the music." All you niggas in here done had her, but I got her. We want to know that you respect you as much as you want us to respect you. And there is no way that you can form as a woman, the one responsible for the eggs, that you respect your eggs that much that you let all these dudes knock it. There's no way to put it. You ain't supposed to screw like we do. Dicks count different. I don't care. When is the last time you had to convince? Yeah, Sister PhD, but here's a question for you. When is the last time you had to wash your car, cut your hair, act like you were interested in our gender specific shit, and look like you had some money just to get us to go to bed with you? You don't. We have to do that because pussy is earned. Dick ain't. That's the difference. And that is why you can't get down like we do. But keep at it, and more power to you, because again, there's too many of you.
Bars.
Keep
I
doing
don't think
it.
that was bars. Like, I mean, I think y'all have,
Because it makes sense to
created-
us. That's the problem. You're we're the consumers. We're the consumers. You're trying to sell you and you to us. You have to sell you to us. You keep selling you to y'all. That's what it's like these long claw nails y'all wearing. We done told you we don't like them because we can't figure out how you can wipe your ass proper with those. That's what we think.
Are you saying hoes
give
are
a
happy?
damn about what we think? You don't
Are you
care
saying
about
hoes
what
are
we
happy
think.
out
Look
there?
at True Table's face.
You don't give a damn about what we think. You want
Are
to do
you
what you
saying
want to
hoes
do.
are happy? Are you saying
I'm sorry,
hoes are happy?
what happened?
I hope so. They should
Are you
be.
saying hoes are happy? That's how she make it seem like it's actually like it's the favorite lifestyle. When you know
What
on
did I say about
Valentine's,
hoes? All I said is
no,
his sister could find somebody because she can move
no,
to somewhere else.
It's
I
a
heard
sucker
what you
everywhere.
said. I
What did
heard
I
what
say?
you said.
You just
But
pointed
you
out
were
the sucker.
saying
PhD,
that you can always come back from it. So you're
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
encouraging low key to go ahead and pass your pussy around because you could always make it back.
How
No,
about that?
that's the thing. You know, if you fall down, do you just stay down or do you dust yourself off and get back up and keep trying? Like, so she
It
can
depends
come
upon
back.
how many times
Well,
you
Okay,
let
she
keep
can
me
make
falling.
tell
it
you,
that
but the
way.
hole that you
If
made in your
she
pants when you
wants
fell
to make
down,
a
hey
change
sister,
and wants to
listen, you can fall
marry, she
down,
can
but
conduct
your knee
herself
is still straight.
differently and
Falling
be
down ain't
again
hoeing,
someone
sis.
else, right?
Stop.
Hold on, we can't hear nothing. Hold on, hold on,
Mr.
hold on, hold on.
Bang, be quiet.
PhD,
Black man unfiltered. Please, can you mute? I think.
Yeah.
sister, listen.
Can I
So
ask?
first of all, let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead,
One of
True
the things
Table.
that's really
Yeah,
funny, and I'm glad
My
you're up
bad.
here.
Hey, Uncle Golf, look in the back chat, brother.
Well, let me just say this. I'll shut up because the brother here is talking. You know, Uncle Jeff is Jeff, right? That's what
Yes,
it's
sir.
called.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's speaking a lot of good stuff. But the thing
So
that
y'all like
I
the pimp
find
lines,
humorous
the Dolomite
is that
lines?
PhD Diva. I
Yes,
think
those.
you understand exactly where we're coming from, and you need to play your part. But maybe after these, and we need you up here because I like this kind of dialogue, as opposed to just a whole bunch of hard legs up here. But the fact is, you know where we're coming from.
Hard legs.
And you don't have to agree with it or not, but you understand. I think you really do. And that's why, I like when you come up because you just throw this shit out there like you're some kind of innocent chick. But you know what's going down. And hopefully you can spread the word of where a man is coming from to some of your constituents or whatever you
That's
have
not
out there
going to happen.
because they need it.
That's
They need
not
to hear
going
where
to
men
happen.
are thinking about because that's one of the biggest issues that sisters have. That you guys look at the world from your eyes and you don't understand that there's other views that are necessary for you guys to be complete women. That's all I'm saying.
What?
Yeah,
What
bruh.
other view is
She's
necessary
not
for us
gonna
to
do
be
that
complete
because
women?
don't know everybody can agree we need Big Mama, but don't nobody want her job.
I think
Ain't nobody wants Big Mama's job.
PhD Diva,
Diva, can I ask you a question?
Diva, I got
Sure.
something to say.
If,
Okay. True, go ahead.
Thank you. So I think the only thing I don't understand about why sisters seem to push this narrative of trying to educate people on the miracle concept instead of operating your life from a more probable place. You stated that his sister can move somewhere else and leverage her chances because she made poor choices instead of encouraging her to make better choices, instead of allowing to give information. I'm assuming your title, PhD, you have a PhD, so you sought out to educate yourself at the highest level. Why is it that? Huh?
I'm a PhD. I just wanted to
say
Right.
Why is it that anytime men have very few standards for the female population, that women are quick to try to go around the fence, around the boundary, and state that they can do whatever it is that they like to do? Somebody will deal with it. Somebody will tolerate it instead of encouraging excellence.
That's not exactly what I said. I said she did behave that way. She could move somewhere else. They would never know that. And so what I was telling him is if she wants to be married now, she can behave differently.
No, she can't.
Well, that was good advice in 1997, but the truth is, the world has gotten incredibly small, and the real truth is that all hoes think don't nobody know. And
well, the thing is, as a woman who done lived in 9 different cities in 6 or 7 different states, it can be done. Nobody's gonna know.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Well, no,
I have the experience of moving around, and so the people that I know in one place don't know the people that I knew in another place.
You still take yourself with you, no matter where you go.
Right, but if she has made a change before, he was saying she was throwing it from the free throw line. Now she decided she wants to be married, so she can act different. If she's gonna act different, because
all right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna.
The only man she qualifies for is inmate 3344-75.
That's
hilarious. That's about a third of y'all anyway. So
hold on.
Well, sis,
you did not say a third of black men are inmates. That's not accurate at all. Let me read these super chats as they come in. Spaces, thank you for being the sponsor of the show today. Who is going to top them? Spaces, $1.99. Long term or short term, all women are selling.
The sponsors $1.99.
Spaces, $2. Shout out Dolomite's cousin, Uncle Jeff.
Hey now.
Space is $2. A 304 will be a 304 whether she's in Cali or NY.
Come on,
that is
bro.
a fact. Spaces again. We're not getting cat. We're giving out D. Stolen. Space is $10. PhD is a prime example of how 90% of divorces are initiated by women. Educated women are statistically the most likely to initiate divorce. They know everything but know nothing at all. Space is out here sponsoring the whole damn show. Who gonna show their support on this good old payday? I might show some support. I just accepted another corporate job offer. That's why I had to step away for a second.
man.
Let
Clap
me
it up
hold
for me.
$5.
I'm the shit. You a PhD.
$5.
You let me hold something.
Well, here I think is the biggest disconnect between black men and black women. I think, again, whenever we disagree as black people in America, we have to start here. Let's start in the middle of where we all agree, and then work out to the filthy fringe of where we don't, under the understanding that there's room for everybody to be right. And then when you get to that filthy fringe of where we disagree, understand that this is not what we did to you, sis, or what you're doing to us. This is what was done to us all. I was taught that you were disposable. You were taught that I was untrustworthy. You were pulled from your bed in front of me. And a man had his way with you. And when I had a problem with it, he would tie me to two horses and rip me apart in front of everybody and tell the other women, if you don't want your son to meet this fate, you get him in line. And that is in every black person on this rock's DNA. It is in you, sis. It's in me. We got to fix this. Before we can point the fingers about money, before we can point the fingers about behavior, we have to understand who we are and where this comes from. If you don't, we are going to be around and around on the same oval dirt track. And the only one losing is the future. Our children lose because they don't have a big mama. Our children lose because they do not see healthy relationships, because we each gotta win. We always, black men, I gotta beat you. You gotta beat me. Not understanding that this is what's happening to us.
So it's the white man's fault.
In short, absolutely. In short, are you trying to tell me that white supremacy exists everywhere but in and on a black woman's head? Is that what you're saying?
What?
Are you? Let me make it declarative instead of interrogative. Right. I submit to you that when the black woman says, here is your God back, here's your hair back, give me my man back, all this shit's over. All of it.
So it's up to us.
Yes, sister. You are the mother of the
masculine
earth.
Women who need to rest in our femininity. It's up
no,
to us
not them. Not them,
man,
sis.
hey.
No. You forgive me.
Let my man go.
No.
Y'all in trouble.
No, sis. You are exact. No, not us. We ain't in trouble, sis.
You in trouble.
You are.
No,
we're not in trouble.
Not.
Please be clear, sis.
Okay.
There is no great American black woman shortage.
Let me interject real quick, please, guys.
Sure.
I gotta say something to you, PhD, okay? Let me ask you a quick question, real quick. As a woman, a black woman, what is your sole duty to a black man?
Wait, what?
With your PhD.
To a black man.
Yes.
My sole duty is to myself.
There you go, bro. Okay. Amen.
Is that a selfish black woman I just heard?
No. Let me talk to her. Let me talk to her. I gotta say this. I gotta make this comment before I move on. Okay. Do you see why some people say that the biggest problem in black community is the self-interest of the black woman, especially when she has obtained education? Am I correct?
No, I don't see why. Because
no, you just said I'm
You're
Nigerian.
Nigerian, correct?
Yes. And
Are
I'm
the
going to
women
ask
over
you a
there
question.
selfish?
They are not
Not-
selfish. Like
not
you.
as
Right.
selfish
And
as-
Nigeria is still number one in the world in public defecation. So despite these women being community oriented, the men haven't even been able to solve the problem of public sanitation, right?
Spoken
So
like a
every
woman
year
with
during
no
the
passport.
Let me
season,
ask
All
you.
right.
there's
Let
a
me ask you a
cholera
question.
outbreak, and there
Ethan,
are
go ahead.
children
Are you
dying.
going to let
And
me
so
talk, or are
them
you going to
being
overtalk me?
community minded
You're going
and
to let me
unselfish
talk
has
or
not
overtalk me?
done them any favors.
No,
I
she
asked
not.
you,
That's
are
just
you gonna
typical
let me
shaming
talk
language.
or
She
It's
not.
not
overtalk
shaming,
me?
it's the truth. Is it the
She
truth?
not.
No.
All
I'm
right.
How can
asking
you
you a
not start
question. I'm
lying?
asking you
Let
a
Ethan
How
A
can
question.
finish,
you
and
not
then
start
Are you
lying?
gonna
PhD, but
are
you
you
can
gonna let me
respond. Let him
talk, or are you
finish.
gonna overtalk
Okay.
me?
All right.
Let me ask you a
Answer my
question.
question though. How it help them?
No. You gotta
Okay, if
you gotta let him finish.
you've already talked your question because you didn't even let me talk. You started whining your mouth and talking and become
Right. Because
disrespectful
don't
to
tell
a
me about
man.
it if you can't
Because
help
you know
them.
why? You know why? I gotta tell you this, right? This is the problem in the black community in America.
You
And you
can't
guys
ain't
are
in no
no,
position to
excuse
say
me. Let
that.
me finish
Can you
telling you.
mute her?
Back
Because
up.
you're
Somebody mute
exporting
her.
into Nigeria. You're exporting into Nigeria as well because you are also telling our women that it's okay to disrespect a man for the past 20 years.
We
They
haven't told
didn't
them
do that.
anything.
No, you have through
They
your
watch what we
through
do, and because
Can
they
television.
emulate
But
somebody
everything that we
mute
do.
her
let
so
me
this
tell you
man
got
can
kicked
something.
us.
Let me
finish?
tell you something, right?
Gotta let him
That is the
finish.
problem because what you
Mr.
do
Payne.
basically is this. What you do basically this. You don't care about 20 years from now in the black community. You do not care about 30 years from now in the black community. You just want black community to die when you die or when you turn 50, when you can't have kids anymore. Or if you can have a better child, not just have kids, but a better child. Because your sole responsibility is to deliver to this man the next generation. That's your responsibility on this planet Earth. It's your responsibility to continue the next generation, to deliver
I
the
can hear
next
you under your
generation.
breath saying it's not.
But when you say that it's your individualism, do you know what you
Community,
just
I'm going
did?
to Aruba.
You tell the people that came here before you that they are trash, that they ain't nothing. That's what you're just saying because it's all about you, selfishness.
And again,
It's
when
all
you can
about
tell
you.
me
But guess what happened? Let me also tell you this because in Nigeria, this is what the women do. That street might not be tied the way you want it to be tied, but I will tell you the house is clean. The clothes are washed. The food are cooked. Kids are put to sleep. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., she wakes them up and she bathe them and prepare them for school. She made that food and put it on the table for her husband to eat before he goes to work. And as soon as that man comes back from work, she gives him a kiss and take his bag and welcome him home. Even if she's working, even with her PhD, she still run home at 4 o'clock to get home at 5 o'clock to cook for her husband because she knows one thing. It's all about him.
Okay, more power to her. But
and guess what? You know why it's all about him?
Why
because without him, she is nothing, even with her PhD.
Okay. And without him,
all right, go ahead.
him
Let's get her. Let's get her rebuttal.
Living in Makoko.
This is one hell of an opening thought.
In the same body of water and fishing in the same body of water.
So PhD. So one thing we can't do is when you say public defecation and all of that type of stuff, there are a lot of villages, there are a lot of outskirts, or what do we call them here? Boondocks in Nigeria, and then there's a developed city. Please do not misrepresent that is all of Nigeria happening.
Yeah.
Go to Lagos, go to Abuja. It looks like
you know how many houses? Is the largest city, right?
Let me tell you something about
Isn't Makoko right on Lagos?
You know how many houses and
Isn't
plots
Makoko right on
Lagos?
Yes, sister PhD.
Right.
Can I ask you this?
Can I ask you this?
Can I ask you this, sister? Can I ask you this? Are you aware? Are you aware that we have been geographically duped with regard to the size of the continent of Africa?
I'm aware.
Its actual size. Yes.
Africa
Okay.
on the map is
yes, ma'am.
Much smaller
okay.
in relation
yes,
to
ma'am.
what it actually is.
Now, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Do you have a passport?
Yes.
Have you ever been to Africa?
Yes.
What countries in Africa have you been to?
Why?
because it makes a big difference.
No, because a lot of people struggling in almost
She
every
has
country.
never been to Africa.
Okay, no,
I have
brother,
been to
that's not fair. Okay,
Africa.
yes, ma'am. She
Thank
says
you.
she's been, so I'd like
I
to
have
know.
been to Africa. I've
Okay.
seen it.
Country?
Okay,
country?
I've seen
okay,
the
yes,
people
which
begging
country?
tourists for money. Like, come
Okay.
on,
Which
stop
country?
it.
Have you
Which
been?
country?
Have you ever been to a part in Africa
Mhm.
that is wealthier than any place on the earth?
On the
Did you
earth?
know that? Yes, ma'am. Did you know that that every other place on the earth needs Africa to survive?
Oh, yeah.
Africa don't need nowhere.
Right.
So
But
as
I
you
also know
take
that those
this
men
social
who run
dump,
Africa don't even
as you
control those
take
resources.
this social
White men come
dump,
in and take it. Asian
I-
men come in and take
absolutely
control of it.
great
Right. So
answers
don't sit
to
up here
other
and tell
questions.
me
Those are
how
great
I need
other
to bow
subjects.
down to
They
you
just
when
don't
you
have shit to do
bowing
with
down
All
this.
right,
to
you
other
gotta
groups of
let him
men.
talk, PhD. You can
Don't
respond.
tell me that.
No. Here's the problem, Trigger Mike. Whoever's in charge of the mute button is slacking. Because y'all letting her just run roughshod all through here. Whenever
I'm
somebody
not gonna
starts,
do that to her.
that's
Okay, I'm
okay.
gonna act
Well,
right.
then
Trigger
I ain't
Mike, I'm
gonna.
act right. I'm
No,
act right.
you shouldn't have to be controlled.
You
These are
shouldn't
these
have to be
sisters.
told
These
to
are the
act
same
right.
sisters that go,
You're supposed to
I
be
need a
you.
man that can handle me. But here's the problem.
I've never
The
said
only
that.
things I handle are animals, problems, and luggage. Everything else
Damn,
is supposed
writing
to
all this
handle
shit down.
itself.
This dude be having bars.
Right, but you 60. You should already have a woman. So you handling the woman
I
shouldn't be an
absolutely
issue.
do. I absolutely
Right. So
do.
what are you talking about?
I am talking about the subject today and your entire lack of respect. Exactly. I'm older than you. And somehow you think your words weigh what my words weigh. And I submit to you that is because you were raised in a generation that allowed their kids to come in and talk while the grown-ups is talking.
Okay.
That's the problem. You need to shut your young mouth while grown folks is talking. You never heard that. That's why it's funny to you. You never heard that.
All right,
So
so
you
we
think your
gotta
words
get,
weigh what everybody else is
we
doing.
gotta get
Sister,
to
they
the
do
first
not.
question.
Okay.
Hour
All
and
right,
30,
sir.
40 minutes into the panel. Can I get the first question off? One hell of a opening thoughts, y'all. One hell of an
Bam,
opening
bam,
thought.
nigga, bam,
All
bam.
right. So Dre, we're gonna start with Dre. We haven't heard from much from Dre. What should be discussed within the first 3 dates as far as people in dating? What should be discussed?
What up, Trigger Mike? Shout out from the UK. No, I don't drink tea and crimpets, but yeah. I mean, I know when we start vocalizing, people think, oh, he's from the UK. He's but I mean, it's an interesting question. I was listening to Uncle Jeff give out a lot of wisdom with a comical twist.
Thank you, brother.
And I say that in my best Queen's English. But in 3 days, I mean, it depends. Just answering the question, it depends on how you met, right? I think we need to understand that the dating game as it stands currently is significantly different to what it was 10, 20 years ago. A vast majority of people are meeting through social media, dating apps, etc. So within 3 days of talking, the conversation can be quite mechanical. So it's about expectations and boundaries. I think that's as far as the conversation can go. But the foundation is largely driven by the mechanism through which you meet. And I'll leave it there.
All right. So we're gonna go to True. Keep it going around. I'm gonna drop down so my man Mosey can come up. True Table, you next. What should be discussed within the first 3 dates?
I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what Dre said because he's right. It depends on how you met and the intent. I think a lot of people who talk about dating are speaking from dating like people are dating with the purpose of actually getting into relationships, and I don't think that that's what's happening now. I think people are trying to find companionship and then rapid in dating. Dating has changed. Relationships are not what people are prioritizing anymore. So I think as long as you get the basis of what that person is willing to engage with, time, some commonalities, and trying to get a feel for where their head is. That's really what we need to discuss. Marriage, kids, all that. That's too deep for most people, in my honest opinion. And my mic is muted.
Sounds like somebody getting murdered.
Ikene, I think you're next, man.
Hey, that was somebody's head
Okay.
getting rammed into the headboard. That's
Right.
what that was. All right, Ikene, you're next.
I think one of the things that is going to be discussed within the first 3 dates is the first. I think you got to find out what the man does. You got to find out what the woman does. You see what I'm saying? Depend on your intention. If your intention is just to, have sex and leave, you don't want to. You just got to lie to her throughout the whole 3 dates and keep it consistent. Because once you flip on one of the lies, you might be done. If you got to mess with her head, you keep messing with her head and keep it consistent. But other than, if you are looking to have a relationship with her, first, you have to sell yourself to a woman. I believe that women always want a man that will give them the best seed. Just like it's always been around history that women always go for the best. Then secondly, within that first date, you want to find out the family that the man is from. You want to be able to make sure that the man has something going for him. You want to make sure that the guy himself is somebody from a reputable family. I hold that very serious. It's good for both men and women to come from family that are reputable. Not reputable in terms of financial, but in terms of character. Because you don't want to be having criminals as a child or prostitutes as a child. You don't want to do that. You want to have the best of the best that you can get. Then you want to find out, what does she bring to the table? What does she bring to the table is a very contentious issue, but that is not what people usually think it is. What it's supposed to be is, you got to find out, what is she bringing? Is she bringing another man's child? Is she bringing another man's kids? If a woman is bringing another man's child and she is within my age, I'm not going to marry her. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be raising another man's child. If I'm in my 60s, then that is different. I would do it because, like I said, if a woman has a child, she's not qualified to have a child by a man without kids, or a man that hasn't been married before. She's not qualified. She's totally disqualified. So you want to find out, is she bringing another man's child? Is she somebody that has been out there? You want to find out her previous relationship. Those questions will tell you her temperament. Her previous relationship, how long did it last? What was the reason why it ended? Was that the first man that she dated in the last 5 years? Because that 5 years bracket qualifies how long she can stay in a relationship, or if she's had many men within her. Because I got to tell men this: the more a woman is exposed to a man or men, the more a woman is exposed to men, the better you are to run away from her. Because women easily get confused. She can change her city, she can change her station, but there is a saying that we say in Nigeria that whenever a prostitute moves to a new city, she becomes brand new. But guess what? Her old character stays. You're always going to find out she was something. So stay away from a woman that have had many men, more than 5 men inside her, because it's confusing to her. She will not last long with you. Then another thing again, if she's older woman, and she is somebody that can submit to you, she can go for it. But you got to ask her questions like under pressure. Because this is what I always tell men: it's good to control a woman, but don't abuse her. Be in control of a woman. Control her, but don't abuse her. Find out her temperament. Find out what is her opinion of a man being in charge at all times, operating in his masculinity. If she has a problem with that, you got to dip. So these are questions that you got to ask in the first 3 dates.
We waiting on you to tell us who next.
Should be ruthless.
It's ruthless.
Yeah, ruthless.
Just keep going around. It's ruthless.
Okay. So
First 3 dates. First thing is my mentality will be business perspective. So the first thing I'm gonna ask is, I'll find out is, can you follow basic instructions? That's number one. Because I don't want somebody who's gonna give me pushback. And I'm the one with all the firepower. I'm the soldier. So I need you to get in line, and I need you to get in line fast. 2, are you agreeable? Is she agreeable? Which is, I guess, kind of along the same line. But is she agreeable to understand that I'm smarter than you, and I can offer you much better solutions to bring this family, our potential family, to flourishing. And 3, I'm the boss, right? Can you understand that? And with those 3 questions, right, in the first 3 dates, because I didn't get out the way now. I'm not going to wait 15, 20 dates in, trying to figure this out. I need to figure this out off the top, so I could know that I can move forward with this woman. And then after that, then she's going to have to bring it. She's going to bring her A game all the time. So, and I think that's where men are failing in a lot of these dating scenes, is we're looking for love, and is she her personality? Is she the woman? No, because once again, women degrees are leaving, 3 or 4 is leaving. Everybody's leaving because they just aren't following under these lines. They want to run their own program, right? They want to do what they want to do, and they don't want to fall under the man's program because they feel that they should be in control. And these 2 questions I asked was, can you follow basic instructions? Is very essential, in my opinion, to run a successful household, just as you run a successful business, right? You need employees that, even though a woman isn't exactly my employee, we do have more intimacy and stuff like that involved. But the basic concept and the construction of how the relationship to move forward to be, I think, long lasting, it has to fall in line with my leadership versus her femininity. And I'll do S.
Uncle? Okay, it's me. All right. Well, I think those questions for the first 3 dates depend, on the age of the man. Okay. Here's the issue. The woman is a peacemaker. The man is a peacekeeper. If you meet a man, sisters, that is worth your time and is above a certain age, here's your problem. He's made his own peace. He does not need you to make his peace. He doesn't need you to maintain his peace. He needs you to amplify it. If you cannot amplify my peace, if I like to fish, I ain't finna change that. Do you own a bait shop? How can you amplify my peace? What is your peace model? What does peace look like to you? Can you make it? Can you maintain it? The movie Soul Food. Anybody remember that? Where one of the opening scenes is at the wedding, and this horrible ratchet broad is dancing nasty with the groom. The sisters see it and finna go pull that sister's hair out. When they pull the crowd back, guess who the groom is dancing with? Big Mama. Because Big Mama's a peacemaker. She saw that heifer and pulled her out the way and made peace. I make war in the street. I need peace when I get home. That may be the key question. Ask a woman, how do you make peace? I've grown up in war. I've grown up seeing how you make war. I know how you make war. I know every time we get in a conversation and you do this, you closing your third eye. I know all that. Show me how you make peace. If you can't ask but one question and sit back and wait for the words, how do you make peace?
All right. Well, I'll try and keep it concise. That's kind of what my thing. So, first of all, I like what I'm hearing, right? Because the discussion of children should come up, and second, I do think that it depends on your age, the man's age, and what part of the life he's at when he's out there dating, or when he decides that it's time for him to be out there dating. My situation is always a bit different because I'm in a different type of lifestyle. So getting to know someone could start with intimacy first, rather than informational. Only because in my type of sex positive lifestyle, there are a lot of pressures that we have to go through every day, and a lot of people, when you're talking about dating, we're talking about a process of weeding out a potential mate, right? I mean, whether it be short term, long term, or even marriage and kids and family and so forth. So, in the alternative community, we kind of tend to shed away from identity, right? We leave a lot of Sugar Mike, sex positive means hoes. Yeah, it does to an extent. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna call a spade, right? But I'll tell you what it is though. We do a trade-off, right? We trade immediate gratification through sex by leaving behind all the norms of courting, all the norms of dating, all the norms of exchanging information and getting to know each other, even our actual names. A lot of us go by aliases, right? But when a relationship does bud from that, then comes the information. Then comes maybe going out and doing the regular things, a movie, dinner, things like that. So it just depends on what stage in your life you are. I myself am seeing someone younger than I am. So in every part of our conversation is gonna represent her future, right? Because she's got a lot of life to live. I'm up here at 40. She's down there at 21. So the conversation is, what is she going to do with her future? What is she thinking? And maybe bounce ideas off of me and maybe guide her that way. For me, it's always what I've done, right? Hey, when I was your age, I did this, and this. So it's an interesting dynamic, because she can learn a lot from me, I can learn a lot from her, and it's an even exchange in that way. So, like you were saying, Uncle Geoff, it does depend on how old you are and what your dynamics are, and what you want to talk about in finding the person that you actually want. So it's just different, and that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Like eating the food and then decide if you're going to pay for it or not.
Oh, you mean like
eating the food and decide if you're going to pay for it?
So I think that this goes back to the male mating strategy versus the female mating strategy, right? I personally think, in my honest opinion, that we weed out women more sexually who can like meet our requirements, and that's the one who kind of wins out our attention. All the other women who lack in that area kind of fall to the wayside, and you pay attention to the one that kind of ticks all your boxes, and that's kind of the competition, and that's kind of how they win out.
Trey, you up next. Trey.
Dre?
Yeah. I've already answered the question.
Okay, so
okay.
True table.
Yeah.
He answered already too.
What about
so traditional then? I guess tradition. Yeah, tradition, right?
Hey guys, I'm here. Sorry about that.
True. They said it's true table.
No,
I'm here now. Tradition.
He's saying he went. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So 3 questions. That's a good answer. It's like a good topic. I like it. Mike, you do a good job.
Sound like you taking heavy fire, man.
You're windy. You're windy. Are you?
Yeah. Are they shooting at you? Get down. Take cover.
Hey, man,
I'm call an airstrike in on your position.
I ain't answering the question. Who turn is it?
Well, wait, hold on. No,
hang on.
Good.
You know Mr. Payne want to talk.
No, I mean tradition. You ready or you still not? Go ahead.
You need to get to a place.
You jumped on a plane. I told you.
All right. Hey, listen, I can go.
Go ahead.
Just go ahead. Well, first of all, the age thing is right. I'm gonna do a little fortuitous kind of thing. I wrote 10 steps to what courting and vetting a woman for a guy between 27 and 35 should be doing. It's on my page. You guys go look at it. But at the very first or second date, I can only do anecdotal with my now wife. After the first or second date, I asked her, I said, listen, what are we doing here? You know, I mean, when I was looking for a wife, I didn't date any women just to smash. I stopped all of that. I cleared my head. I was looking for a woman that I wanted to vet for my wife. And that was way back in the old days. And I don't think this is an old kind of thing. I tell men now, if you're looking for a wife, you got to stop smashing random chicks. You got to get your head clear so you know what you're looking for. So I eliminated all kinds of stuff. Now, I wasn't one of the finest guys, but I was able to get, you know, when looking back on it with all you guys talking all this shit, I didn't do that bad. I swear I didn't do that bad. I'm saying, man, you know, I didn't have that much game, but I got, I don't know why, you know, maybe it was a teddy bear shit in me or whatever, man, but women like to give me some sex. But, so when I was looking for my wife, I was deliberate. And in the first couple of days, I said, listen, what are we doing here? Because I don't need another girlfriend. Are we going to build something worthwhile or not? And it wasn't a proposal. And she looked at me and said, hey, listen, I'm not looking for another boyfriend. And we just started from there. So once you establish that, then you can get into real meaningful conversations. That's what I'm thinking, right? So we talked about all kinds of meaning, you know, just meaningful stuff. I mean, she was religious. I found out about that. Actually, I converted to baptism, from a Catholic, actually just for her. You know, I say, I don't think God really cares. You know, he's the same freaking dude, right? So, you know, so
Actually not, but that's
well, you know, for me, you know,
another subject.
But in my 10 steps, I talk about the secular man and the non-secular man. You know, there's corollaries from secular to non-secular. So I don't try to talk to people from a non-secular standpoint. That's just me, because that international version of devotional shit for marriage is you know, it's a corollary in the secular world. So for me, the first thing is, what's her intention? And once you get a woman's intention and your intention for her, then all the other stuff you need to court and vet a woman opens up. It just opens up. Because now you know it's serious. It's not just you just trying to smash. You're trying to find out, is this the woman for you? And are you the man for her? And so I think everything's on the table. And I was a marrying kind of guy. So we've been married for 35, it'll be 36 years in August. It'll be 36 years in August. And we've been through the tops and the bottoms and the 2 kids and all this kind of stuff. And let me just tell you, and everybody, I hear all this shit on the internet about how hard marriage is and all that. It's just bullshit, man. My life has been bliss for a lot of you. My wife might have a couple of hiccups in there because women are women. But she seems happy. She goes to bed. When she goes to bed at night, she goes to sleep in 5 seconds.
You chose well.
But yeah. So all I'm just trying to say is we got to be careful on how we on you know, there's good information out there, but you put the bullshit on. Get away with the bullshit. Put it on the shelf, and all the stuff that matters to you, then you kind of explore that. So yeah. So based on the question, in the first couple of dates, if you're serious for a woman, don't be wasting time in terms of all this other horseshit. What's your intention? What's my intention? What's her intention? Once you get that, then if she says, "Hey, listen, man, you know, you're a handsome guy, man. I just want to give you a little bit of sex," that's one thing. But if she says, "Hey, I'm looking for something different," then everything opens up for conversation. Everything, you know, how many kids you want. You know, are you willing to get married? All this kind of stuff, you know, anything you could think of comes up. And I got a whole list of that on my page. But anyway, that's it. I'll land it there.
Yeah, bury that shit.
Sparkle, welcome. It's been a minute.
Hey, Sparkle.
All right, what you got on the topic?
I think King Spark is going, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
ahead.
I can wait. I've only just come in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm basically with Payne, man. Definitely a whole lot of clear intentions on where you are in your life and what you want to do and where you're headed. And also conversations about values. For instance, would you rather to live in an apartment and have a brand new BMW, or would you rather have a big ass house and have to walk to the bus stop? Just questions to kind of gauge what type of woman that you're sitting in front of. Maybe you might want to go a little bit spiritual, depending on what your beliefs are. You might want to find out if you're dealing with a faith-based individual or not, either one. But yeah, basically that's all I got for that, for sure.
All right, who has an answer yet? Grant, did he answer?
I think
No,
it's
I haven't had
PhD.
a chance.
PhD is next.
And then, okay. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Ikane. EBD
You're
keep
welcome,
trying to
lady.
skip all over me. I see you.
Go ahead.
I think
Gotta fight.
the point that several of the gentlemen made about intentions, I think that's very important to kind of get established up front. I also think within the first 3 dates is, you want to look at not only what the person is saying or what the man is saying, but what they aren't saying. So you can gauge how much self-control or sense this man has. In the first 3 dates, he should not be approaching you about sex, right? Unless you're a part of that alternative community of sex positive individuals where they, lead with sex. Hey, I ain't judging. Then I think in the first 3 dates, you can also kind of gauge his attitude towards women. A lot of times men will do things to try to like gain leverage over you as a woman, or maybe try to like test you or something. And so you can see if he's one of those weirdos, so you know who to avoid. And then also, if he keeps talking, he's talking a lot. A lot of times men do that because they're trying to craft a narrative. So, be mindful of that type of thing. And then, but also like listen to what he's saying. So, especially when they're talking about their past relationships, if everybody's always doing something to him, then that that's a person who does things and doesn't like take accountability or responsibility for what he's doing. So if he always is the victim in the scenario, pay close attention to that, because he'll victimize you and somehow end up casting himself in the role of victim. Trigger Mike.
PhD, I don't think you're on subject.
Don't interrupt her, man.
Hang on. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish, please.
Yeah,
No.
let her go.
That was it. Now y'all can.
Okay, and then I think Grant was after you, right?
Right.
Yes, Grant and then Sparkle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I say I think it was a lot of great things about how do you go about dating. I think it's definitely going to be age sensitive, correct? If you're in your early 20s, you may not have to ask those kind of questions. I mean, the reality is if you're in college or just coming out of college, I hope you're not going to them with a list. And I don't think any person who's really been successful at dating are going there telling the women, you're going to get on my program. It's just not a way of communicating. And I think if you're looking for a quality of person who you want to be with, you would hope that they can have normative conversations that are socially appropriate. And the other part of that is, as you begin to get older, at least for myself, I think you're looking for someone who sort of shares some semblance of your values. But again, it doesn't have to be a list of things. It needs to be in the character that you are. I often hear, on the panels, people, I think people are saying, well, I don't want a woman who does this, who has babies or whatever. I've never dated a woman who's had kids. I don't surround myself with people like that. So I don't have this sort of negative notion of women. So I would just say, ask yourself, what are the type of people you're hanging around and why you're so angry about the people who continuously who are in your sphere. If you want your sphere of people to be different, then maybe you should reflect inward, in which I've done, and think about the people who I'm attracting. Because if every person that you're running into, correct, is someone you don't like, you have to ask yourself, what are the things you're putting out there that's attracting the kind of people that you don't like? Or maybe you just don't like yourself and you're really projecting that on other people. I happen to like myself, and therefore the people that I'm engaged with are people that I like as well. And so the people that don't necessarily meet within that range, I quickly move on, and I don't spend a lot of time thinking about them. And I think if you are younger and sort of working through the calculus of the kind of people you want to be with, I would say define yourself first, correct? and define the type of person you are, and you tend to find the type of people or women that fit within that within your
framework,
your preferences. So I think that's the kind of way that I would think about it.
All right, Sparkle.
I would say before you even have a first date, you need to have a bit of an idea of what you want. Because if you're just dating to date, I don't think you should be as fussy with it. If you're just dating to have fun or whatever, then you kind of have the flexibility to kind of be a bit more free and go with the flow. If you're actually looking for a spouse, for a husband or a wife, you need to really establish on date one, are we dating or are we courting? So you know whether to waste your time even going on date 2 or 3. And so obviously there's certain questions that you can ask to get to that point, depending on who you're dealing with. But if you are looking for someone a bit more long-term, I would say the key questions to ask would be based on the other person's view regarding religion, money, politics. Those are 3 things that usually are deal breakers. Children, how they deal with family issues, how they deal with dramas, and as some other people have said, expectations on what's expected of you if you were to become that person's spouse. I think a lot of people just kind of go with the flow, and then they get pissed off when they don't get what they, if certain expectations aren't met, but they haven't asked the questions up front. And this is why I say it's important to establish, are you dating or courting? If you're dating, you shouldn't be as, it shouldn't matter to you as much, really, if certain things fall apart, because you're not thinking long term anyway. You're taking it day to day. But if you're intentional, then you need to be willing to establish, is it worth my time, my money, my investment, all the rest of it? But if we're just having fun, go with the flow. That's
All right.
Okay. Shout out to Sparkle's accent. Anybody else love her accent? Good Lord.
Of course I love her accent. It's just every time I
got to have bad news, I'm gonna call. I have somebody tell Sparkle
to deliver it. The
There's
news.
nothing she can say to you. I'm sorry to tell you that you have herpes. Oh, really?
Who do I? My first answer is, who do I? Do I have herpes? That's interesting.
I don't think that would sound good in any accent, to be fair, but
your accent is beautiful.
Compliment.
I'm serious. You should think about making money off of synthesizing your voice, because you can just give directions. Turn left here at Auburn Street. Yeah.
I actually had my GPS set to a British woman's accent. I swear to God.
Oh my
Go
goodness.
into the causeway. Yep, I did.
You guys are crazy.
So is the difference? So here's a question: Is are we saying, as a terms of definition, is courting the difference between courting and dating sex?
Yes and no.
Yeah, absolutely yes.
Yes,
and if you look up the definition for courting, the last part of it is actually in references. They talk about courting and said as opposed to dating, which is for sexual pleasure. And you can look up the definition and it'll be right there. Just off of the definition of courting.
Here's why I said yes and no. Because in the traditional sense, Rich is bang on. Courting is purely looking for someone to marry. But in today's day, if we're going to be honest, a lot of people have long-term relationships where they are looking for a partner, maybe not marriage. A lot of people are quick to have sex without even dating these days. So, there's a lot of freaks and OnlyFans people out there who don't require the date part to get into the bedroom. So that's why I say yes and no, because I know many people that are in long-term relationships. And
the woman usually comes on the short end of the stick of long-term relationships.
I agree with you, Ray.
Let me just finish saying what I'm gonna say, and everybody can come back. That's fine. Listen, men will waste your time. We don't have the same clock. If a man's just not everybody besides King Spark, of course. I'm talking about everybody else. Listen, the bottom line is a man will waste your time. especially if you're in that age between 25 and 30 or something. If you're a woman and you're in a long-term relationship with a guy and he doesn't ask you to marry him and you're marriage-minded, you are making a critical mistake, because he's getting all the milk, he's sucking it, what you call it, he's doing all that kind of, he's busting it down, busting the cheeks. And let me tell you, he's looking for somebody who wants to be his long-term wife, and it ain't you, because it doesn't take that long.
Hey,
Pain. Okay.
Pain, let me add to that, Pain. Let me add to
That's
that
why it's
real quick.
important to ask questions, though, Pain, because there's a lot of women these days that aren't looking for relationships. But
that's not who I'm talking about.
Hold on, Sparkle. Hold on. Let me tell y'all. It goes like this, though. When you sit down, I said this one time before. Y'all probably remember. If you sit down in front of a dude, okay, and he tells you that he goes to Bible study on Wednesdays, some Sundays, okay, he's a vegan, he's never cheated on his girlfriend, okay, and he makes 6 figures, and he recycles,
That's
get
Jesus.
up and run from that motherfucker. Get up and haul ass.
Yeah.
That's
if
where
it
y'all
sounds too
women
good
have
to be
problems.
true, it usually
Y'all
is too good
sit
to
down
be
in front of men and let them tell you what you want to hear.
Oh shit.
Then when they run your ass down, run your ass ragged, you're like, well, he said. Look for a human. Look for a man that can tell you some of his faults. Because some shit like that, something that's actually real.
Let him go. Let him go, Spark.
Right?
Go, Spark.
So that's all I'm saying. Because a lot of people have unrealistic expectations, especially women, and men are just like, fuck it, I'm gonna meet him right here today and just tell you everything you want to hear.
Pour the
And that's
syrup
how
in
you
your ear
end
so I
up
can give you
with a
draws.
fuck boy.
I agree.
That's all I got.
I'm gonna say this, and some women on the chat might not like it. If you are between the age of 18 and 25, you might have all the time you want. Once you reach 23, start getting yourself serious a little bit. 25, cut it out. Because I got to tell you this. Women are between around those age bracket, right? Men want to ride them. Men want to use them. Men want to dump them. That's the psychology of men. When you're 26, men want to take you serious. That is why I tell girls all the time, when you're 26 to 40, highest 45, don't entertain men around you. Don't do that. Ask those questions and don't do the current day courting. Do the traditional courting, which means get to talk. Don't tell him to go spend money on you. No, don't go to restaurants, because once a man takes you to restaurants, you are indebted to that guy. You got to give up sex. That's right. You have
don't
to
give up sex at any stage.
I'm sorry.
She's
I'm
right.
sorry.
She's right. You're wrong, brother. You're wrong, brother. You don't have
if
to.
you
It's
let me
expected.
if
You
you
don't
guys
have to.
Exactly. let me talk, you see where I'm going to. The reason why the guy wants you to give up sex is because he's now has invested something tangible, which is money.
Absolutely.
Once a man spends money on you, he takes you as not somebody serious anymore. What I'm telling you guys this.
Wow.
Just listen.
That's
I'm
a contradiction.
Disagree, Ignat. Disagree.
No, it's not.
Guess what? Women want to hear what they want to hear, but I'm telling you what men think. So men might be like, "Oh, Miss Parker."
Contradiction.
He ain't speaking for me.
If I take it all of God and drop them panties.
You might be thinking about. I'm telling you how men think.
You don't think like me, bro.
Don't listen to some of the men here, okay?
Don't listen to you. Shit.
Once a man spends that money, automatically he starts thinking, when am I going to sleep with her? What a woman wants to do, this is what a woman should do. Before that guy takes you to a restaurant, know his personality, know who he is, get to know him as a person, get to know his family. In fact, go to his father's house, meet his mother, cook with his mother, be in that kitchen with her. If he spends money on you that moment, he's not gonna want to. He's not gonna require sex anymore. He's not gonna want to look for sex because guess what? His mother knows you, and she's gonna be asking about you. He's not gonna take you for granted because you know what? You now a semi-wife. You're not a wife complete anymore. Now you're not a wife complete, but you're a semi-wife. So you're just halfway to be a wife. That's why you want to take a man serious, not by him taking you to the Frisco. No, you want to meet his people.
All right, let me add to hold on, y'all, because I know this is about.
I'm sorry,
Go
Mike.
ahead.
When a woman took me to her father first, we didn't go on a date. What she did was to take me to her parents first. I end up marrying that woman.
All right, so let me because I know y'all about to firebomb this. What he explained, no, seriously, what he explained was the courting process versus the dating process. Once you spend money on a woman, and we're gonna jump all over it because we feel like it's normal, it is transactional. There was a certain caliber of woman that I used to date where I'd be like, this ain't Olive Garden, this is more McCormick's and Smith's. But guess what? I had an expectation, like in the back of my mind, she didn't have to do anything. I had an expectation. Girl, I just dropped 150. Pennies, something's happening tonight. Like, you see what I'm saying? So men naturally expect things once they spend a certain amount of money. You know nothing about their character. You don't know anything about their life plan. And what I like about what Mr. Ikene said is that's actually what's supposed to be done for the woman. It protects you. You want to know exactly. You want to know all the good things about a dude. You want to know if he's serious. That is the way to weed out all undesirable men instantly. If you don't let him spend any money, because people in the chat now talk about you want a good woman for cheap. You completely misconstrued everything that was just said. We don't have to spend money to spend time, right? This is why coffee dates are important. If you want to find a common mutual place to meet, talk, get to know each other. Hey, this is my sister. That is 100% the way things
When
should
the
be.
sun is in the sky.
Exactly.
But the thing
during the daytime. Remember,
right? But
said
so part of the courting process, though, for the woman is to find out, can this man provide for a family? And so if you're saying like remove the yes.
hold on, y'all. I'm gonna obliterate that. The best way to find out if a man can provide for a family is to meet his family.
There's that.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay,
Mike, I say throw him into the fire.
With his mother,
I say
I
throw
think
him
there
in
are
the fire,
plenty
man.
of women who have dated a man and been to the mama's house, cooked with the mama smile all in her face, only to find out it's 3 or 4 women coming there to cook with the mama, and mama smiling in all their face.
Here y'all go with the horror story.
Okay, is it all right?
But wait. That's an exception. That's an exception, not a rule.
Is it all right? I think I can clear this
up. That might be the way to go if you're Nigerian or messing with a Nigerian man.
Point
But we
taken.
all know
Yes.
in America, they'll take you to their mama and it means nothing.
May I give an American response, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
This speaks
I'll give an
to
English one afterwards.
Yes, ma'am. This speaks to the
And I'll give a Jamaican one after that.
The fact that we're going round and round and round and round third base points to female arrogance. And I'll tell you where I'm going. Ladies, never ever think that you are smart enough, engaging enough, warm enough, secure enough, grounded enough for a man to ever forget that you brought your pussy with you. We're not gonna forget it. We got friends that look like each other. I'm not spending $200 on you to get to know you through your stimulating chit chat. We can do that under a tree. I got to meet the most important woman in my life for free. That was my mama.
Ooh, come on.
Okay, so this concept, it's arrogant to believe that a man wants to hang out and spend his money on you for nothing. You're not that engaging. You're not that. You don't talk about this shit. You know why? Do you know why that's so insulting to a man? Because if I wanted to hang out with my friends You know what I do with my friends? We go to car shows, we chew with our mouth open, we fart, and that's funny. I have to put all of that away to show you who it is that I am and who it is that I can be. I'm not hanging out with you because I don't want none. Those are simps. The dude that don't want none from you ain't gonna do nothing for you because that dude is the dude you can mold into something you don't want. If you give a woman enough time and you say yes to everything she wants, she will turn you into some shit she's not interested in. So let's dispense with that. Hey, if I'm taking you out, I want some ass. Might not be tonight. Don't gotta be tonight, but I want some ass.
Doggy style and everything, man. Doggy style, missionary, the whole
leg
nine
up. I'm gonna make your friends call, I'm gonna make your neighbors call the police. That's what's on my mind.
But
aren't you please get off of your high horse thinking your vajayjay is not in the picture.
Aren't you creating the women you don't like?
Hang on a second.
Pussy's always on the menu.
Always, bro.
Wait.
We got pussy soup, pussy casserole.
I'm so intellectual. He's gonna forget I got one. No, he's not. No, he's
pussy
not.
kebabs. Oh, y'all tripping. Oh, y'all tripping.
I'm gonna forget that.
What were you saying, Sparkle?
Right. Here's why I said when I came on. Here's why I said that it's important to sort of differentiate if you're dating or courting, because everything Ikene said and Mike said, I'm with, right? However, traditional courting often wasn't quick. It could be quite a lengthy process, right?
Yeah.
And so that doesn't mean that no money was spent. Flowers would be brought, dinners would be bought as well, right? So this is the point I'm trying to get to, that yeah, if you're just dating and money's spent, I'm sure there's an expectation, and 9 times out of 10, guy's gonna be pissed if the girl doesn't put out. But if you're courting and you know it's a wifely woman that you're talking to or a husband material man, I don't think sex is always expected so fast. So this is why it's important to establish: are we talking about dating or courting?
Can I respond to that, Trigger Mike? Can I respond to that?
Go ahead, Dre.
Let
Okay.
the British respond to the British, man.
Yeah. So I think
sorry.
The predicate in your argument is fast. Sex is ultimately expected because men are cost value calculators.
Of course.
When a man will 100% not go out on a date with a woman he's not sexually attracted to, but a woman would do it just to get a free meal, get a free drink, etc. So what I always say is don't go out on. Sorry?
Depends on the woman.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. But it stands to reason that a woman would go on a date with a guy that she's not sexually attracted to, just to feel him out. Just say, is he congruent? Is what he's saying consistent with the physical presence? But a guy would never do that. We're very visual. Within 10 seconds, we know if we want to have sex with you or not.
We don't say that.
Yeah. Within a couple of seconds, we've evaluated whether we want to sleep with you or not. And everything else comes after. So even if he wants to court you, even if he sees you as a wife, if he sees you as a 1 in a million women who he wants to take seriously, the sex is always on the menu.
That's right.
Hey, Drew, I have a question for you.
I want to see real quick. When I looked at my wife, it wasn't just that I wanted to smash her. I wanted to smash her forever.
Right, right. That's hard. That's hard to find. Okay, wait. In the context of a relationship, a long-term relationship, if you're going to talk about a long-term relationship that leads to a marriage and that makes these things work, then yes, you're going to have to find someone that meets your sexual requirements. And yes, that's visually, but that's also when you're intimate with them, which is why I got, which is why I went the route that I went, right? Because I did do the dating. I did, get married. I did have a wife. I did the regular traditional thing that didn't turn out so well. And it didn't turn out so well for anyone I knew. So that's why I went to the whole sex positive thing, lifestyle community thing. And then now all of a sudden, I don't even have to bother with the courting or the dating or the getting to know you crap. I can just see someone I like, be attracted to them. They're attracted to me. we actually have sex, we have awesome sex, and now outside of that, we can build on top of everything else because we check each other's boxes. That's what I'm saying.
But EBD, there's one thing that I have to say.
Go
There's
ahead.
Pun intended.
There's a misconception that I got to clear up here. Women are visual also.
Okay.
Okay. Women are very visual.
Sure.
Men are Men are more sexually driven. Yeah.
Right.
And sex is going to be at the forefront earlier than it is for women. But women also on the first dates. Look, okay, don't get me wrong. You got some women who are just trash, who will go out with a guy and save him in the phone number as Domino's Pizza or whatever, right? There are the girls. But by and large, if a woman's actually going to bother to get dressed up and all the rest of it, a lot of women are only going to do that for a guy she's physically drawn to. She might be able to discipline herself to hold out longer, but it doesn't mean she's not thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Because she doesn't throw it at you.
Right.
Don't assume that women are just going to date anyone just to feel it out. That's a misconception.
Women are very selective in their own way. Even in the circles that I run in, they don't just have sex with just any old random person either. They have their selective strategies as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about having sex. So Sparkle,
no. We're talking about practices in selecting someone you may want to date or have a long-term relationship with within the context of dating.
Hey, look, EVD though, check this out, right? You know, when it comes to the restaurant thing, like I say, I like to throw their ass in the fire the first time, because like I say, for me, it's not about me taking you to the restaurant. It's you being on my level, doing what I do. This is where I'm gonna be.
Right.
I'm gonna be somewhere nice at 6:30. I don't give a damn, by myself or with you, right? So like I say, we're gonna have an interview. You come on. As soon as you order that steak well done, that's it. That's it. You fail.
That's hilarious.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
Let's get around to the next question real quick. We'll start with the ladies. I want to know if PhD, we're going to start with you. How should educated women present themselves during the dating process to avoid being perceived as masculine?
Ooh.
Great question.
Really good question.
What? What do you mean?
What do I mean? You don't live under a rock. Stop.
I mean,
all right.
The whole masculine thing always just kind of confuses me.
That's because you're exactly who we're talking about.
That's not very much.
I understand that. That makes sense.
That's not
your mouth wasn't far enough away from the mic. We heard that. All right.
Oh no, I was trying to let y'all hear it. Shut your old ass up. That's what I said.
Oh, no, I will not.
That was, the best part about that whole exchange. Wait. The best part about that whole exchange was, I don't understand what that's about. It's like, no, that's about you. Are you really saying you don't understand yourself?
That's why she don't. A lion don't know he a lion. You don't want to know he a lion. He just out on the Serengeti.
Understand what masculinity and femininity are, right? And so we have this kind of this like one-dimensional view of femininity, right? So yes, nature is often conceptualized as a woman, right? And so nature can be beautiful. She can be very like calm and serene, but at the same time, when nature is out of balance, you got a hurricane, you got an earthquake, right? So it can be very violent as well. And so the same thing goes for women. And so it depends on the situation. So if you have a woman with her child and somebody's trying to kidnap her child or take her child from her, do you expect her to come
on
with
the date? Kidnapping the child on the date? She couldn't find a babysitter?
Why are you talking over everyone? See, you
no,
think
just
what
you.
have
Just
to
you.
say
Just
is more
you.
important than what other people
let her go, brother. Let her go. Let her go.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
Go ahead, PhD.
So if somebody's trying to take her child from her, then you don't come with the stereotypical feminine stuff, right? You got to get your baby. And so that's why it always confuses me, because y'all are looking at it very one-dimensionally. Now, as far as an educated woman, I think she should present herself on a date, how she is, whatever she got going on, that's how she should present herself. The man saw her, she was herself. He asked her out on a date to begin with. So apparently he must, like something she got going on. So why would she need to present herself in any particular way just because they're now on a date? Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want her to sound like Brittany Griner, right? You don't want her to be Brittany Griner, right?
Why? Well, Brittany Griner is a basketball player. Why would an educated woman sound like Brittany Griner just because she got a degree? Like that doesn't even make sense.
Let me see your certificate. Hey, listen, I hear you. I agree with you, by the way. I agree with you because both men and women, right? We share certain traits, but what's dominant and natural, and what do you have? So the point is, I understand this whole masculine thing. I think men overuse that when we talk about women being masculine. I'm one of the guys who don't believe in toxic masculinity. And I kind of refine that because it's toxic only when women wield the shit because they don't know what it means to be masculine.
Oh, shit.
So just like we don't like men who are sweet, sassy boys walking around with their wrists broken because they don't know how to be feminine, right? They look like caricatures of women. So the same thing goes both ways. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, but we're talking about the dating scene. We're talking about how you present yourself to a man and how he presents himself to you as a woman. And so there's some masculine traits that a woman has in order to succeed. Like if, I have a family relative who's a woman and she became a policewoman, right? And she's a sergeant. And she's hard as hell in certain areas, and she's feminine as hell in other areas. Mm-hmm. If you're going to lead men as a woman, there's no way you could be dainty and soft and all that shit completely all the way through. But she still wants a family and a husband, and she has to have some traditional roles because she likes to cook, she likes to clean, she likes certain things. But she also takes her husband's dick and puts it up on the shelf from time to time, So all I'm just trying to say is it's a balance. It's a balance. And the right kind of man understands that balance if you're going to choose that kind of woman. That's all I'm saying. And it takes some understanding to do that on both sides. But in the end, if you want to be a wife to any man who's a real man, you have to submit to his leadership or the shit just ain't going to work in a long-term fashion.
Well, let's
what does that have to do with education?
Let me read the super chat. Hold on, and then I'm gonna get Sparkle in there. Mr. Rich said, "We missed you, PH Diva. Now come get this smoke." The real Pookie, $2. So we married to or marrying virgins. Advanced perception, $5. That 304 label is like bad credit. It takes 7 years for people to begin to forget about your past. Call that chapter 304 bankruptcy. Very clever. AP, my man, $5. What does sex positivity relationship mean? He's a hoe. AP, he's a hoe. Plain and simple.
He's a freaky diggy.
Yeah. John the Baptist, $5. You can be masculine and not spend money on a date. A woman can be feminine and not expect a man to spend on a date. Agreed. Trucker Yale, $5. Ladies, y'all better hope I get on the panel because I'm gone because some heartbreaking evidence. The truth will set you free. B Love, $5. If we really trusted God, why do we have to audition with sex?
Oops.
Amen.
Good one. John the Baptist, $5. Stop making lifelong decisions on sex and money. We appreciate those super chats, y'all. We got an all-star panel today. Thank you for coming through to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. 140 likes. That is disrespectful. Get those up to 200 right now. Smash that like button. Our topic right now and our question on the table is, how should women, educated women, present themselves during the dating process to avoid being perceived as masculine? Sparkle, you got it.
Okay, so as we're talking about educated women, I would suggest if they're looking for a long-term partner, it's probably not wise to wear your educational accomplishments like a badge of honor. I would also suggest not coming into the situation with a fully mapped out plan of, oh, I'm going to do this by the time I'm this age. I'm going to do that by the time I do this, because where does that show you can fit into his plan or create a plan together? If you've got everything mapped out, that to me is kind of masculine. Now, I would, of course, share your goals, your ambitions, accomplishments, but not to the point where you come across as if you don't want a man, that he's just going to be there for fun or sport or as an accessory, because I think that's probably not the way to go. If you want something long term, again, like I said earlier, it's managing the expectations. If you're just dating, do your thing. But if you're trying to find something more long term, I think you need to be a bit wiser with your delivery on what your situation is. That's just my view. Mike, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Mike.
PhD was chuckling a lot in the background.
No, I'm reading the comments. I'm in the chat reading the
Oh.
comments, and they're very funny.
All right, let me go on this real quick. Let me go, because I think this is a good question. So yes, women are being perceived as masculine, and the reason we have proof of that is because we thought women went and got education. Remember, in my home, it's required. My daughter will be a highly educated woman, just like her mother. I went seeking that out. So I'm tired of people acting like men want stupid bimbos as wives. That woman that I married is going to pass her education, her prowess, and everything she is on to our children. I'm not an idiot. I wanted an educated woman for that purpose. But the women cannot present themselves in a way to say your education is you if it's not in the form of being an asset to me. Otherwise, why would I want you? Do not present as masculine as if you got this and you're in control and all of this. I don't want to marry a degree. I want to marry a feminine woman. I want to marry a wife. I want to marry a good mother. You are a wife first, mother second, and whatever you do in the career field is tertiary to my needs in this family. That is the way women need to look at it. I've seen doctors marry doctors, but that's the way the woman acts. She has to align with his vision. Her education, we don't want to say it doesn't matter. What we mean is that we won't factor it into the equation into our needs. It has nothing to do with you being a wife, and it should never supersede that, if I'm making any sense there. All right. So I just want women to understand that you should present yourself and your education as an asset to the family to align with your husband's vision. And that's even the best way to do it, because if it doesn't align, move on to the next man. That's it. Who else got something on it?
Do you mind if I go?
Go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, I mean, I would first start off by saying the question of itself is a bit weighted, correct? To some extent, we're making the assumption that educated women are by default masculine.
Right.
I think I think we fall into this trap of saying X equals Y, and I think that's problematic. I think a woman should lead with her education. I don't think any other group discourage, and I don't think you do, Mike. Actually, I think you're quite clear on this. So I want to make sure your narrative, I can sort of latch on to at least the part about you want an educated wife. But I also think in the space, a lot of times it's used as a hammer blow that that we don't care. I actually think I want to have a conversation with a woman who can articulate a position. I'm interested in the ideas that she's willing to share. I think there's other groups that are succeeding. They're succeeding on the notion that both the men and the women are both educated and are preparing young kids for the future. You can't thrive as a community. You can't thrive as a group of people. You can't thrive in a relationship if you are not highly communicative, if you don't have some level of emotional intelligence. These are skills that we need to pass on to our kids. And it makes dating even harder when you imagine that two people, one who thinks the idea of being educated or smart is a problem, and the other one who may be more forcefully pushing that idea. I would say I would like for a person I'm meeting or dating to tell me all about what she knows. I am by no means in any way intimidated by. I'm not saying anyone guy is. I'm saying I think it's the most attractive thing on a woman is her ability to be articulate. And just like if you go and meet in the circles I run, if I'm going to go talk with someone who's Asian, she's more likely to be highly educated, and the men I'm competing with are not going to be talking about busting her down. So in essence, my competitive edge isn't trying to be a sort of a Billy badass. It's really being able to engage with women on a level that is going to be able to transfer across any group of people And I think what I would say about the idea of a woman being masculine, when you meet a person, a woman who likes you and you like her, you should be able to figure out how you guys are going to interact. And if the person doesn't meet that preference or doesn't meet it, then you move on. She may not find your masculinity to be that all masculine. You may think you have your chest out, you think you're cool, you're opening doors. She may not find that very masculine. And she may move on and may want to find someone who's way more masculine than you. She may think Shaquille O'Neal is the greatest masculine man ever. All of us have levels of notions of what masculine.
Mr. Grant, I have a question for you.
As do I.
Go for
let
it.
Me ask
Yeah, so I think we just need to
let me ask
reevaluate.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
No, I close that off.
No, because we don't have time, so things might go. So, Mr. Grant, check this out. Let me ask
Thank
you.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
If you have two women, right? One is, if you have three women, two women. One is black, one is Asian. They both have bachelors of art or bachelors of science, equal bachelor. But one is peaceful and one is belligerent. Let's use case in point. The Asian woman is peaceful with her education, but the black woman is belligerent with her education. Which one are you going to pick?
I mean, you would have to.
That's kind of loaded.
Yeah, you're
making,
you're saying that the.
Well, let me also
you're equating.
Because I waited till the end, and definitely if we're talking about all women, you're absolutely right, Grant. No, not all women are, like Mr. Eakin has said, belligerent with their education. Absolutely. Unfortunately, what black men are experiencing, and we talk about this all day, too many black women are belligerent with their education. In fact, they use it as a negotiation tool of non-cooperation. They use
in relationships.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why I said the word asset is because that's what we expect, and we expect them to be peaceful and not. You don't have to conform to all, but cooperative and willing to do whatever your duty is to the family that you signed up for. Unfortunately, I believe black women use it as a tool to non-conform or to not conform to any gender roles at all, as a negotiation tool, to spear as a dagger to say, I'm not doing blank and blank. And black men will tell you the world over, that's exactly what is happening.
But they only do that.
Wait. They use it as a tool of masculinity for self-respect. What they'll use it for that no other real nationality or tribe does, when a woman gets educated, around the world, she's celebrated for her accomplishment. When black women finish their education here, she carries it and wears it as a cloth, meaning with every man she interacts with from now to the end of time, education will be coming out of her mouth as a negotiation to everything. Meaning, when you meet a woman, what's she going to tell you? Or a black woman, what's she going to tell you? Oh, I'm a strong, independent, educated. I'm educated. I'm educated. You hear that 10 times over. I'm this. I'm that. And what happens is they try to leverage that against all men to demand respect when a man can accomplish far more than just a degree.
Only black.
So can I answer the question, Mike?
If we look at the black community. Come on now, let's not pretend like the men are just, I think that's part of the issue. I think a lot of the women are angry to a certain degree that there aren't, counterparts for them, right? And
point
so
taken.
And that's part of the reason why we go and get so much education, because we, unlike any other group of women, know, okay, we ain't gonna be able to depend on these men to give it to us. We got to go get it ourselves. And those of us with fathers, they were the first ones to tell us that, right? So it's not like we just dreamed all this up in our heads. There's a reason these women are doing this.
So, and I agree. I've heard that so many times, PhD, but that I thought it was true. It's not true. Because black women have led, black women have, statistical Mike, right? Black women have led in school enrollment for the better part of a decade, have not closed the wage gap 1 cent. What that tells you is that education was for show. It's because you don't get enough STEM degrees. You go to school for liberal arts. All right. How the hell do y'all have all this education and have not surpassed black men in earnings? Even though you say we are not enough for you, that does not make sense to me. Now, hold on. What I do want to correct again from Mr. Grant's statement, we cannot equate formal schooling with level of intelligence. That's what we keep doing. You are not better than me because you got a PhD. You heard me talk. I got a master's. It don't make anybody better than me. I can debate with just about anyone. Well, hold on. So when we talk about equally yoked in multiple ways, the black woman with a degree may not even be enough for the black bus driver if she brings all the debt, her consumer spending, weighing down their debt to income ratio.
Ouch.
So what are y'all talking about when y'all say, well, the men don't do anything? The men don't have the disparities y'all have. They don't have the credit report y'all got. They don't have the debt y'all got. They don't have the amount of children y'all got. So it's a fallacy and a myth to say that black men aren't enough for black women when y'all are the number one spenders, despite making second to least in the nation.
Can I co-sign that?
Well, so the thing is,
let me answer the question when y'all get a chance to, Mike.
Income. We're only talking about when they develop those income statistics. They're talking about people who work, and so we all know that black men are the most unemployed. So it's a lot more y'all making $0 than there are black women. So if you're just
87, hold on. You're right. You're right.
Actually work, then yes, certainly y'all earn a little bit more. Can I finish? Because
87% of black men are employed. 80% of black men in the labor force are employed. The national average is around 91%. So it's not a large disparity of 50% or anything like that. It's a 4% gap.
Okay.
So I don't know why any sister would be entertaining an unemployed man. I really don't know. But go ahead, Mr. Jeff.
Yes.
I got a story after Jeff.
Like the gentleman said, it's already 2 million more of us here. So now that's the thing. We got to deal with the math too. So now if there's 2 million more black women and y'all are saying, I'm just trying to get all of y'all's narrative.
I think I can clear this up. I think I can clear this up.
I've said
So
it
why
many,
can't I
many
finish my
times. The
sentence,
black
though?
educated ones are going for the least educated ones. That's
Absolutely
the problem
not.
because the educated black men don't want to deal with a stubborn, belligerent, educated black woman. You see the
thing is,
my
and so you're Nigerian, so I know, like in your culture,
of course,
yes, y'all don't deal with
my
that.
wife is African American.
Right?
My
But
wife
no,
is
but I'm
not
saying,
Nigerian.
so in your
My wife is
culture, you
African
don't deal
American.
with that. But actually,
really
in our
wrap
culture,
this
there
up
are
fast.
men who
African
like
American
loud,
that
belligerent women.
Uncle, hang on. Instead of the back and forth, hang on.
Nigerian.
Hang on, Uncle Jill. What were we going to say? And then King Spark, you were going to say something too.
Hold on, I was saying something before they cut me off.
Okay, let her. Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Okay, let's let her run. Like
what were you gonna
like a retarded kid. Just let her run till he runs out of gas.
Well, just
keep
okay.
going.
Just let
keep
her
going.
Finish.
What else?
People can comment.
Okay, no. So what I was saying is trying to get all of the narrative into one, thought. So if there's 2 million more black women than black men, if nobody wants black women but black men, if what was the other thing he said? So the black men out earned those who actually have a job by a little bit, black women, right? Keeping in mind it's only a few dollars a month. Really, y'all really be banking on that? But yes, y'all do. Okay, well, hey, take what a win is a win, right? Play the thing.
Yep. There you go.
You're muted, Mike.
Mike, you're muted.
Everybody,
wait. Can I ask a question? Okay, hang on. Question.
Hold on, because you said you were a statistician at one point. So what I need you to, because we can both do math here. Despite black men having the largest incarcerated population of people, right? So people non-eligible to be factored into salary statistics.
Right.
How? You got to understand. And 40% or more of black people that identify as black males being 18 to 34 years old, which nobody has no money, and yet we still beat you. That means that black men actually over the age of 35 make far more money, and those are the partners that black women should be looking for. Because
That's
if we
not the
still
case.
beat y'all, despite y'all being 2 million more
Let me show
and more of you
All
in the
right.
workforce and
Case
more
or
of us
not,
incarcerated,
case or not, I think
That's not the case, though. So I think it was on your show that I talked about the Social Security Administration study that they did. It was on 2020 data that shows that Black men actually top out, a decade in terms of earnings, a decade after other men who top out in their 40s. Black men peak in their 50s, and they peak at $48,000 on average.
Watch the video
y'all,
13th.
y'all
That'll clear
not
it up
earning
for you.
a whole lot more than the women, right?
Watch
Hey,
the
but how
video.
No. The reason I'm gonna say wait. The reason I think that's complete crap is because if you look at wait. If you take a look at when we're talking about numbers, when we're talking about how Black people are making it, men or women, I don't think it's a versus thing. I do think that when we're talking about sports and athleticism, when we're talking about your common job, whether it's software engineering or network engineering, like a lot of Black men today, 2023, are making more than above average income standard.
That's not the case.
It is the case.
Doesn't matter.
It is. There is more Black men making money 6 figures or more now more than ever.
We got to
That's a
get
lot,
Uncle
though.
Jeff
Ask
in
a
there.
question.
I'm trying.
What's a
I'm
lot?
trying
Let's
to
get
cross
Uncle
the
Jeff
Let me
in
go
there.
after
You have to
Jeff.
be able to quantify
I got a
what
story
my
after
turn.
Jeff.
Yo,
Go ahead,
one
Jeff.
mic.
Right?
Let's get Uncle Jeff in there. He's been waiting, shaking like a stripper. Come on.
Oh my
Come on,
Okay,
God.
Uncle
I'm
Jeff.
sorry. Go ahead.
Let's get back to how should educated women present themselves during the dating process to avoid being perceived as masculine. One, I don't want to hear, and again, I'm just working with a Chicago high school public education from the 80s and Mythbusters. But a man does not want to hear about your degree unless we're discussing Freemasons, weather, or deodorant. It's unimportant. It's unimportant. The reason that Black men lack, the reason, let's just pretend you are dead wrong, Trigger Mike. PH Diva is right about everything she says. The problem is she is right about a paradigm put together by your oppressor.
Oh.
You're right that there's sometimes the worst thing for a Black mind is a good European education. This concept that you have to somehow add up to, own up to the scholastic level of someone who's gone to a 4-year university or more, who, again, like you said, Trigger Mike, you ain't gone to no 4-year. I never went to a 4-year university, but my credit is 780. I don't bring bankruptcies and the other things that generally, as we have been fed commercialism, go to school, pay a lot of money to get a white man to tell you you're smart. There's a lot of us who didn't do that, who do just fine, who own property, who own stocks, who teach, who advise, who guide, who have not taken that traditional road, but because of these social stamps, and that's what we get in that system, these social stamps that you are given, PhD. What does that mean to this? If your PhD, again, I have a piece that it is on you to amplify. It is on you to maintain. If your PhD is outside of that, and I cannot depend upon you to get with my program, I am supposed to be your leader. There is no we the president. I'm your leader. If you cannot help me in that task, then your PhD is moot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you know how many people I know that throw that around, that have me proofread their letters because their grammar is shitty? Mm-hmm. I know so many unimpressive Black college graduates, tons of them, that talk this. I went to school. It's again, the big problem with Black education in America is what we tell our kids before they go. Oh man, college is a great place to get well-rounded. I've never heard an Asian say that, because they don't send their kids to be well-rounded. They send them to be surgeons. How many of you, again, like it was brought up before, how many of you are in the STEM programs? How many of you can actually get out and balance a checkbook? You know how many of my relatives got degrees that call me to borrow money? We have been sold a bill of goods with regard to education. Yes, it's important. No, I don't want my daughter to be stupid, but I don't want my daughter to be stupid enough to believe that the man that she is going to bring to me, if his education is not on the level of hers, that he is supposed to bow to her education. I don't believe that. I think we make too much of it. And the big part about this is that sisters like PhD Diva are absolutely right. This dating dilemma, it just ain't the black man's dilemma. It's y'all's, which is why, and I'll say this, I'll get out the way. You're about to see this, brothers. You're about to see a bunch of funerals in the next 10 years to 15 years with nobody there but the sister in the box and the brother driving the bulldozer. I have never met a grandmother. My grandmother, when she died, she just kind of like Andrew Tate's story. We were around my grandmother's deathbed, 25 of us, young, made us. She was the glue that kept us together. And we didn't give a damn about the fact that she had an 8th grade education because she glued us. Everybody, and I have not met an educated black woman. There you go. I ain't met an educated black woman yet that wants Big Mama's job. And that's who we need.
Gotcha.
Pause.
Y'all the leaders, but y'all blame your failings on the white man. Like those two things just, I can't. Those two things.
The white man has to do with
Hang
it.
on.
You don't have nothing to do with it? All right.
The white man has nothing to do with that.
No, he do, but you gotta keep going. But let me answer this question on how you shouldn't present yourself, right? So I was dating, like Richard Payne would say, I was dating this honey, right? This bank exec, right?
Next after you, okay? Sparkle is next after you. She's been raising
Okay.
her hand.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, but I had been said so. But anyway, so I'm dating this chick, right? The whole date, she proceeds to tell me she wants to know, what are my stock options and how am I investing here? What are my projections for my business and all of this shit, right? And I'm like, my business is together, right? So then she proceeds to tell me how she has dudes that offer to take her to Jamaica on a first date just to get to know her. I was like, oh, really? I was like, wow, okay, I got you. You big shit. So we get down to the end of the date, the check comes, right? She doesn't say a word, and she pulls out her American Express card. And she's like, you want me to pay for the date? I snatched that motherfucker so fast and said, hell yeah, go ahead and pay for it.
You're a big pimp, you. Absolutely.
Then after
You're a
that,
big old pimp.
after that, she's like,
All right, let's go
I
ahead and
can't
close it out.
believe.
But
Like, I
Sparkle,
can't.
okay, serious point though, right? Because obviously,
Sparkle, then John the Baptist, then we gotta close it out, yo.
serious point, because I'm here in the UK, so I don't know all the stats in America. But if it really is true that there's 2 million more black women, right, and we're going on this question, then shouldn't it be okay? If black women are the least swiped on in dating sites, if they're the least approached, and all the rest of it, and if there's 2 million more, then shouldn't it be really important that they do try to come across as less masculine if they actually want someone? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, but to me that's a serious question, because you can't come across condescending and belligerent with your accomplishments and then moan that you're not picked and that there's 2 million more of you. Surely there has to be some kind of compromise or give somewhere to kind of level that playing field.
Right, but who's moaning though? So people keep telling us that
we're
no. I'm making a general statement. No. So people keep telling black women that we're single, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really. I don't think it's black women moaning. Everybody's telling us, "Oh, you're not married. You're the least married," and so I think everybody else has a problem with has more of a problem with black women being single.
Y'all
than
think
black
Ebony
women
K.
themselves.
Williams were moaning over the airwaves just recently? She's moaning like a big dog.
No,
I
she
Over
wasn't.
the-
She was asked
I
a
see
question and she was
comment
saying something
section
about a bus driver. Like what? She didn't say I want a man. She
Is she? Wait. Question. Is
If
do
you're
you
gonna be
think?
honest,
Do you think there is a black woman that is better than a bus driver?
what?
Do you think? Do you think? Do you think a
No,
black
people are
woman
better
is
than
better
other
than
people.
Do you think a bus driver is undeserving of a black woman?
I won't say undeserving of anything, but that's not what the woman was saying.
That's exactly what she was saying. Is he the? I'll date. No. Because what she said was, "Will you date a bus driver?" She said, "I'll date a bus owner." This means by default, the bus driver is not is not good enough. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't qualify. The owner qualifies, not the driver. The owner. That's what she said.
For her
So
and
he
all
was
who
saying
co-signed
no,
it.
no, no. She was saying for
E-Black.
her.
I think
He
the point she made is that she would.
attorney.
Hang
Why
on,
would
hang
a
on.
bus driver qualify
Hang
for
on,
her?
PhD, but hang on, please.
Don't tell me to hang on. This not
Please.
happening
Don't tell her to
Well,
hang
hang
on.
on,
Not for
please.
you.
If he tells her to hang on,
Hang on.
Please.
He's trying to say something.
Please,
What were you saying, Trey? What were you saying, Trey?
PhD, I'm actually on your side, right? Well, and I think it's important when we get one thing that I have an issue with when we get on YouTube to really interpret what was said. What she actually said was she would date a bus driver if he owned the bus, right? So you cannot.
She never said that.
Well, that's what she said. What we're doing is we're
Did he freeze up? Did he freeze up right there?
You can play it. So hold on.
I didn't cancel him. He just froze. I didn't. You know.
No, but the wider point here is that it's okay to have expectations. Right. What is wrong? She didn't say the bus driver doesn't deserve to have somebody. She has her own expectations, and she said the bus driver is not for me. If he owned the bus, then of course I'd date him.
There's a problem with that, Dre. There's a problem with that.
Right, go ahead.
She said it on social media in front of the world. You know what who she turned off? Every man who owns a bus driving company, because he started out driving a goddamn bus.
Right.
His employees drive buses.
Dre. The bigger point. Okay, so the bigger point, Dre, behind it, the bigger point wasn't simply about the bus driver. The bus driver was just used as an anecdotal example of what kind of man qualifies to date a black woman in the modern era of 2023. And what she represents is this feeling, this overall feeling that black women have, that the average man that works an average job, makes average money, isn't a blood, crip, psycho, thief, liar. Just being a good man, hardworking man isn't good enough. That was the overall point that everybody went away with.
So even if you extrapolate that,
all right, hold on.
Great question. That doesn't mean you're a good man.
We don't even have enough time to get into it.
If you extrapolate that,
all right, y'all.
Sorry. Can I just clarify, Trigger Mike, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, just 1 second. I think we vilify women for having expectations, and I get what you're saying, E-Black, that she is effectively disqualifying a vast contingent of hardworking men. So what? Even if we go by the 80% rule, right? 20% of men are getting 80% of the women, whether you're black, Asian, white, etc. That's what's happening in the current dating marketplace. And that woman, Ebony K, she's very educated. She's probably a millionaire. She has expectations. Right. She shouldn't be vilified for it. She's going to get what she qualifies for.
She's not. Wait. She's not educated. She's not educated. She's not educated in one thing. She doesn't know a good man when she sees one. She doesn't know a good man.
That's okay.
One mic. Hold on. Yeah, we're actually done. Hold on, y'all. Because we cannot. Hold on, PhD. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
We already went over this on the Trigger Mike show.
Yes.
Nobody expects an upper class woman to date a freaking bus driver. We gotta stop that whole
Can we go
that
around the
whole,
horn,
it's not
please?
about that. It was about her comments made that were poking fun at the average man and the black man in relation to black women. We got to watch all 3 interviews to get the context of what she was doing. But I got to close out the show. But John the Baptist, you came on. What you got to say real quick? Oh, he's probably not listening no more. All right, I gotta get out of here, y'all. Hey, this was a dope discussion, y'all. This is a dope
because the
discussion.
Lakers lost last night. He's pissed off because of the Lakers.
Yeah, they pissed off because of the Lakers. I'm finally gonna get to pick my baby girl up on time because of y'all. Y'all be out here snapping on each other, man. Thank y'all for coming through to the Trigger Mike Show. It was been an awesome Friday. Let me get these super chats out of the way. My man Neo Moses, $10. Phone overheated from the topic. Men ask 3 important questions. How's her relationship with her dad? That's an important one. How many children she wants? How many serious relationships? It's the foundation to know. Girls actually get mad when you ask these things too, but they are very critical questions. John the Baptist, $10. When looking for long-term relationships, you should not, you must not, you shall not lead with your accomplishments. We should lead with character and moral beliefs. Agreed. Fatty, my man, even if PH Divas numbers are right, why do you keep dealing with the same bums you denounce? Shout out to the hardest working man in the space, Trigger Michael. I don't know who that is. My man, Chike Auto, $5. What's your issue with Nigerians or their culture? All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through. Let me see who's live right now. I think we had another super chat come through from my man, Black Man Unfiltered. He $5. He says, Ebony Williams' expectations qualify her for the white South Asian Yorkie puppy from the adoption agency. They can take Dre with her as a spokesperson. Hey, this was dope, man. I love having these discussions with y'all. Everybody that comes up on my panel is always welcome. We get down to it, but it's more so respectful, and I appreciate everybody's opinion, everybody's perspective, everybody's dialogue today. It was one hell of a conversation. Y'all keep tuning into the Trigger Mike Show. I thank you for your support. Also, tonight, I need y'all to come through to the Chic Critique. Got to take my kids. We going to a pool party. My wife said we got to be there by 5. Like, God damn, okay. I got to go get some swim trunks or something. Everybody, the kids older now, but yeah, Chic Critique tonight. Shan said we're talking about The Notebook. She's really romantic. I hope you're listening too, Shan, because I'm going to obliterate all that shit tonight. So if you want to see the fire tonight, come over to the Lapeef Experience channel and go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Go over there right now. Subscribe to the Lapeef Experience channel for Chic Critique tonight. I think it'll go on sometime around 8 Central or 8:30 Central. I look forward to seeing y'all there. Hit a like button for the YouTube algorithm on the way out. I appreciate y'all for showing your support. Thank you for all the super chats. We'll catch you on Monday and catch you tonight at Chic Critique. I'm out.